The story always starts the same. An unknown warrior appears, raises a glowing blade, and begs the heavens, "Lend me the power to crush this evil before me." The evil he's praying about is Alex, the 666th Demon King. Alex just smiles, warm as a spring morning. Then he snaps his fingers. A skull-shaped blast swallows the screaming soldiers whole. This world runs on one rule. Every 100 years, a demon king rises, and humanity's greatest warrior dies, putting him down. 665 times, the same story. Fire buries another army, and the final clash detonates in gold. The 666th war is the worst of them all. A winged champion crashes against the armored king, while soldiers scream, "Save us!" And when the dust settles, Alex sits on the throne of everything. Then a servant slams into the throne room. "There's a problem, your majesty." The problem is a note pinned beside the royal relic. "I don't want to be Demon King, don't look for me, suckers." The 666th, the most feared being in existence, just quit. And far away, a white-haired man on a merchant wagon reaches up, chasing a butterfly. That man is Alex. The Demon King of legend now lounges in a cart, pestering his companion about warrior society rankings. What a mess, why is it all so random? Remember this face? White hair, black choker, lazy smile. That's what the end of the world looks like on vacation. But his peace hangs on a single secret. If they find out the Demon King has abandoned the demon world, humans and dragons and demons will all face each other equally. 3 races, held apart by fear of a king who no longer exists. And retirement won't hold. Somewhere down this road, the friendly white-haired shopkeeper will stand over a field of bones in his demon form and sneer, "You are but bone," because the past is the one enemy even a demon king can't kill with a finger snap. So how does the strongest monster in history end up napping in a merchant cart? Rewind to the very beginning. A blood-red sky, an armored boot stepping through the rubble, the 666th retelling of the world's oldest legend. It begins with a white-haired stranger strolling up to the Holy See's shining cathedral, hands in his pockets. The gate knights see an unarmed man and close in. One clash later, blood sprays the courtyard and the stranger hasn't stopped smiling. He studies the unicorn crest above the gates like a bored tourist. Then dark magic answers the garrison. A blade flashes through purple smoke, a child cries for her mother. And the white-haired stranger smiles with glowing red eyes and begins to pray. "Oh God, the creator of all, the absolute, the Holy Father." Alex begins the Lord's Prayer, grimly calling on divine power for his next move. Armored knights march through the grand hall toward a robed ruler. He snaps, strolls forward, and leaves the screaming soldiers destroyed behind him. Pink energy swirls as he smirks. "Now, shall we continue?" And the Demon King coldly admits he doesn't need her, only the throne itself. Then he dismisses everything with a red blast that tears through the area. From the flames, Alex emerges in skeletal armor, gripping his blade like hell just clocked in. The unknown warrior's attack rips across the battlefield and defeats the armored soldiers. As the explosion fades, one question remains. Will the warrior defeat Alex and restore peace, or will the cycle continue? His clawed demonic hands slam down, finally exposing the monster underneath. A white dove crosses his feet by the gate as armored knights approach. Confusion barely registers before he strolls between them, blood-streaked coat and faint smirk included. Then the warrior smirks and commands, "Arise," raising a huge armored being below. Alex answers by shredding the army in one skull-bursting wave. An armored swordsman charges through the blast, while surviving knights pray to the beginning and end. Then the warrior commits to his attack, and Alex challenges him to learn whose prayer will be answered. Their decisive clash begins. Nearby, a shadowed figure greets the survivors still waiting. Alex turns, calmly asking whether anyone else wants some after that slaughter. Red-white energy answers instead, blasting the surrounding structure apart. Armored above the army, he begins the invasion amid fire and lightning. So blazing light swallows the Demon King as the warrior makes the ultimate sacrifice. Peace returns, leaving a colossal stone memorial and one hell of a legend. Later, a servant reports that Alex refuses the Demon King role. His monstrous listener roars in disbelief, demanding an explanation for such nonsense. The 2 armored knights confront Alex for loitering near the restricted grounds. One suddenly surges forward, cloak snapping as the hostile confrontation turns violent. He casually raises his purple blade and hums, strolling through their attack like he's got permanent invincibility frames. The Arise command summons the warrior, armored and dripping black liquid overhead. A gigantic purple skull follows close behind. Reduced to a skeletal demonic face, Alex desperately pleads for mercy. The warrior raises his weapon through holy light, praying for truth and victory. And the warrior rockets forward, chains whipping behind as it closes the distance. Alex's heart pounds through the strain as he unleashes a powerful strike. The armored knights brace, swearing to hold the final line. Poor bastards. He stands inside the ornate hall, his red-eyed stare radiating smug menace. Alex smirks and asks, "So it's all yours then?" His challenge barely lands before an explosion shreds the golden tower into flying debris. Then he leads a skeletal army into the world, because apparently confrontation means invasion. After fragmented battle text closes the past, the story jumps to present day. Urgent figures race through a dark corridor toward a huge door. A nervous servant stalls for words, but he impatiently demands the damn answer. Then when the knight demands his name, Alex points at himself, like that's confusing. bruising. Then his eye burns red and entire spear ranks collapse beneath his assault. Amid the bloody wreckage, a chorus of voices welcomes him as their new demon king. Skull magic hurls the soldiers screaming through the blast. Alex stays calm by the wreckage, while the warrior finishes praying and vows, "I'll defeat you." Turns out it damn well can, as red energy erupts into a huge blast. A white-haired knight swings hard, demanding proper respect for the ruler he defends. Then the bastard recoils in shock, weapon raised against the incoming threat. So the armored figure flatly demands the entire kingdom. He stands amid dark energy, vowing he'll do it for someone. His opponent fires back, "How dare you," escalating the clash. Flames consume the wreckage, while a fallen warrior lies buried beneath rubble. A heart-like emblem pulses red through ruin. His blazing eyes promise hell. 100 years later, his red eye burns as he looms skeletal and armored amid blue flames. Demonic worshippers claw toward the glowing shrine in a frenzy. A bloodied golden spear confirms someone already lost that argument. The Shadow Dame hits smoking ground as a robed swordsman raises steel amid clashing energies, declaring "An honor, my lord." And Dea sweeps off his wide-brimmed hat with a dismissive scoff as purple magic swirls. Smirking, the white-haired schemer drawls that everything's handled, no need to worry about him. Alex watches through the smoke while that unsettling smile survives the rubble. Alex grins as light erupts while an armored bastard's blade comes down. He clutches his glowing core, relieved he avoided disaster, then raises a hand. But Alex loses the battle. His body is destroyed. His followers carry his broken soul into the demon world so they can restore him. His return is possible, but will he agree to go back? Then armor, spears, lightning, and one glowing eye signal the warrior's smoky return. His worshippers demand he lead them into the human world, treating his resurrection as a marching order. Alex stands atop the wreckage while the Shadow Dame trembles through stunned silence. She collapses onto her knees, trembling through the wreckage. Then a robed figure confronts the clawed entity amid surging energy. The demon subordinate looks up with glowing pink eyes, intensely awaiting orders. A pointing hand marks the sudden explosion, startling the girl in white. So his subordinate asks why he invaded this kingdom in particular. Before he can answer, a huge blade tears through smoke and sparks. He throws his wings around the small figure at his side to shield it, but the fiery backlash leaves him gasping as debris rains everywhere. Alex's hooded companion, Deus, suggests they go find a warrior for their scheme, and Alex eagerly lunges after him. Far off in the dragon realm, the Golden Dragon, god and mother of dragons, lays a hand on one of her own dragons and borrows its power, since outright theft would be rude. Then demonic energy wings flare in the distance, and she tenses at the unfamiliar presence. The glowing red crown burns over the ruins, ready to house the Demon King's soul. An armored warrior emerges through purple sparks and fire, his red core blazing. The robed figure bares his teeth, sneering, "Yet another hero." And he endures the bubbling calmly until one damn claim about her shocks him. Dark wings flare, but an impact sends him crashing down as a clawed entity threatens to pluck out the masked figure's eyes. Deus sweeps off his hat with a mock formal bow, playing the loyal underling purely for show. A separate dreamlike fragment drifts past, a white-haired woman cradling an infant among roses and water. Back in the fray, Deus applauds mockingly, while Zeke stares at the schemer, completely startled. The urgent report still goes unexplained as Alex's shattered soul becomes Demiurgos DCLX5. Broken memories surround his rebirth, but the people involved remain unclear. A masked opponent deceives him and he snaps, demanding, "How dare you try and deceive me?" Then the masked opponent draws on a dragon's power and releases a destructive surge. A noblewoman is stunned by the damage. After that, the ritual places his recovered soul inside a new body and completes his rebirth. The demon world expects him back, but what will Alex choose? Before Alex can answer that demand, more broken memories hit him. An unidentified warrior survives the ancient conflict, while demons claim this battle will end the war. The humans refuse to yield and insist the surface belongs to them. Back in the demon world, an urgent problem awaits the reigning demon king, and a crowned enemy refuses to surrender a royal woman, calling her the pride of the throne. The conflict leaves Alex devastated. A mask triggers another burst of power. His memory shifts again, this time to his childhood. A white-haired woman teases young Alex about becoming interested in a woman. So more memories break through. A crowd chants for the king's death as the kingdom is destroyed. The golden dragon cries. A catastrophic attack erupts near the royal building. Even after all that, the urgent report for the reigning demon king remains unexplained. He answers the deception by releasing power beyond every demon king before him. During an unclear exchange, someone mocks the idea that the grieving woman is his love interest. Her anguished scream cuts through the destruction, but the reason behind Alex's fury remains hidden. As those memories fade, the legend records another hero surviving a devastating barrage of arrows. The hero remains standing while others lie fallen. Somehow this ancient cycle connects to the servant's urgent report about the reigning demon king, but that link is still missing. So the demon world welcomes Alex as its 666th king and immediately discovers the problem. He has abandoned the throne. He left a note ordering everyone not to search for him. A distressed woman recalls him once calling her his first human, but what she meant to his choice, no one knows. Alex simply refuses the crown and says he won't return, never revealing what really made him walk away. A hooded figure approaches through the destruction, but Alex rejects the summons. He says, "Go away, I have no plans to return to the demon world." He refuses to let his rebirth end with another reign as Demon King. Even so, he claims only a Demon King can imagine greatness. Violent memories follow as another strike connects and the battlefield collapses into rubble. An explosion hides whatever happens next. Alex still refuses the throne, declares that he won't return to the demon world, and chooses his new life. And before Alex starts that new life, Zeke asks if they finally succeeded. An unidentified woman says the timing is perfect. He later rides in a wagon and asks his servant how warrior society ranks its members, starting with people dismissed as defects. But the servant begins 66,580 years earlier, when heroic bloodlines first appear and pass to their descendants. Alex listens closely, trying to learn how inherited blood becomes measurable strength. The actual ranks aren't clear yet. His group arrives in a quiet coastal town with little military or trade activity. He's still working out how warrior society measures inherited strength. His attendant demands the Golden Inn's finest suite, and the innkeeper quickly agrees. Then the bellhop gets Alex's group settled inside the Golden Inn. Their peaceful stop ends when a nearby fire erupts and a child screams. Zeke, he, and their hooded companion witness it, while a scarred young woman braces herself. The explanation reaches warrior society's highest rank. D-class warriors are dragon slayers. But what makes heroic blood strong enough to reach D-class? People branded as defects are treated as nuisances and expected to vanish, while power keeps passing through family bloodlines. Then Alex continues traveling with Zeke and quietly studies the human world. He considers what this inherited hierarchy means as the ranks start making sense. The source of each bloodline's strength is still unknown. So Alex enters the human town and remembers that demons haven't walked above ground for over 60,000 years. Violence has already broken out here. A bellhop knocks down a nobleman, another man threatens his group. What decides who holds power among humans? A dragon rises over the burning town, terrifying a young woman. Alex's lesson continues during the attack. G-class warriors are giant slayers, but that still doesn't explain why some heroic bloodlines are stronger. He watches ants eat a rotten apple and concludes the human world is cruel as well. Alex keeps digging into warrior society's rules. Heroic power comes from a holy lineage called the Blood, but its method for determining strength remains unclear. During the coastal journey, he rejects the old claim that every demon king must die fighting a hero. He chooses sleep instead. Now townspeople argue over how much strength D-class requires as Zeke travels beside Alex. A hatted traveler assumes he sits near the bottom of the blood hierarchy and insults him openly. The bloodline discussion brings Zeke's burden back into focus. Hungry children rely on him and ask when their parents will return. So a hooded driver carries his unconscious group onward by cart. His research reaches warrior society's upper ranks, where L-class warriors are called Lich Slayers. But what allows a warrior to reach L-class? The answer starts with the blood. Each clan measures the purity of its holy lineage, because purer blood creates a stronger aura. Alex notes that this belief has fueled conflict for 60,000 years. He still rejects the rule that every demon king must follow the same path. And now Alex reaches the coastal town, where frightened townspeople say half the castle has burned. A dragon is still heading toward Trayer. Before he can investigate, a confrontation inside their suite causes a huge explosion. A hatted guest offers to sponsor another man, leaving him to figure out this human power structure. Zeke remembers a woman and a child, which explains why status matters. Alex learns that the Holy Sea's Warrior Management Division ranks the remaining warriors as A, B, or C class. Their power depends on how closely their blood matches pure blood. The group hears that half the castle has burned and a dragon is loose. Falling blood releases its aura and confirms the rule. A heroic bloodline grows stronger the closer it is to the original pure blood. With warrior society's hierarchy clear, Alex considers how to live as a human without revealing the destructive power in his own blood. Then now, Alex and Zeke continue through the coastal town. He approaches an excited inn worker. He makes him a proposal. What does he want from a possible warrior while a dragon attacks the town? The dragon tears through the town as Alex approaches the prospective warrior. He keeps his destructive power hidden. So Alex gives him the answer. Become my warrior. He proves his overwhelming strength in a brutal clash, then starts a staged plan so someone else can claim credit for defeating the dragon. He orders the prospective warrior to hold a weapon and wait until the dragon enters range. So an unidentified enemy senses Alex and instinctively wants to tear the Demon King apart. The attacker transforms in agony as a top-hatted man approaches he. An explosion rips through the burning town, and a winged creature carries the attack overhead. Can he still keep his power hidden? Now the attacker finishes transforming and charges Alex, but he immediately knocks the skeletal creature down. A many-eyed monster bursts from the fire and surprises the nearby hooded figure. He has to regain control as the new creature joins the fight. The clash in the burning town sends power surging through Alex. A broken memory follows, with someone kneeling and promising they'll never regret their loyalty. But the people involved remain remain unclear. But the prospective warrior flinches when another blast hits. Alex keeps his larger ambition hidden and sticks to the plan. The sponsor tells the recruit to hold his weapon and wait until the dragon enters range. Alex puts the strongest ambition into motion as the recruit waits for the dragon. The top-hatted attacker targets he, and the burning structure collapses around him. The recruit still has to hold that weapon long enough to claim the victory. A burning winged creature races toward a distant portal. Alex reveals his demonic form. He surrounds a fiery core with several skeletal arms, but twin beams pierce the horned creature through the flames before he takes control. And the recruited warrior vows not to waste this rare chance and keeps holding the weapon. Alex restrains the struggling creature with demonic power, while an urgent voice tells him to finish the attack faster. Then the conspirators settle on the full deception. The defect only pretends to kill the dragon while they do the real work, giving him the glory and unimaginable riches. Alex fires the decisive blast and signals that everything is ready. The recruited warrior pulls power from deep within his veins and commits to the plan. He shouts about winning glory. He riches, but first he must keep the weapon steady until the dragon falls. Then the dragon's attack leaves the settlement burning while victims call for help. Alex presses the assault, binding its power with skeletal arms as the beams keep striking its head and weaken it for the staged killing blow. Zeke grips the weapon as ordered, but the dragon's attack nearly tears it away. Alex holds the dragon in place. He unleashes the decisive attack. Flashes of the ruined settlement and a terrified child make the cost of failure clear. Zeke holds on until the dragon falls. The crowd praises him as the hero who saved them, proving the deception works. Alex gives the signal. The conspirators make it appear that Zeke killed the dragon, so Zeke holds the weapon long enough to finish his promised role. Even as the dragon growls through the flames and the blood surges, his staged victory is secured, but the dragon is still fighting. Alex and Deus control the real fight from inside the burning town. He crushes the dragon's heart core, and Deus prepares to credit Zeke with the kill. He signals that everything is ready. Alex roars and drives a piercing attack through the flames, but his power keeps changing. Something is awakening inside his veins, and controlling it could expose him. The dragon starts falling. The plan moves ahead to make Zeke its killer, and Alex signals Zeke to enter the burning battlefield and claim the victory. As Zeke moves into place, the destructive force inside Alex stirs to life, the raw, world-ending power of the demon king he used to be. His true power could kill the dragon in one blow, but using it might expose Alex. Before he can act, a heavy punch catches him in the face. Their clash wrecks more of the burning town, while the dragon gathers power again. His skeletal dragon form rises from the flames and says, "I have one question." Zeke reaches the wreckage, but Alex fires another destructive blast before the plan continues. After taking the punch, he attacks through the fire as monstrous limbs close around an outstretched arm, and the wounded dragon-like creature roars, and Alex answers with a rapid barrage of demonic strikes. He bursts through the fire and dark energy as the huge beast dives toward the burning city. Stopping it without revealing himself is getting harder. So the beast reels from Alex's attacks, but the huge demonic entity still isn't broken. After taking that punch, his skeletal dragon form attacks through the flames and dark energy. Monstrous limbs close around an outstretched arm. Alex and Zeke have to stop the entity before it destroys the burning city. While he struggles against its energy, a swordsman attacks and remembers his father's warning about learning a secret sword technique. Its tendrils and energy attacks still block his path. Then the swordsman strains to keep attacking while the huge entity towers over the collapsing city. Elsewhere, the survivors believe Zeke stopped the destruction. Their panic turns into cheers as they praise the masked warrior as a hero sent by heaven. Still bound by the entity's tendrils, Alex fights through the pain and uses Moonlight Shimmer. The entity surges with even more power, leaving the burning city at risk. Can the sword technique break through? But Alex answers with Demon of 100 Hands technique and tears into the entity. A hooded combatant cries out in pain during the clash. Neither side has won, so Alex prepares another strike. Alex remembers a father warning his child. Their clan may be excluded from the defense against the Demon King, which would leave their village helpless. Carrying that inherited sword art into battle, the young swordsman unleashes Moonlight Shimmer first form at the colossal entity. The slash hammers the entity as debris rains down, but it survives. Zeke stands dazed while the survivors suddenly praise him, and Alex senses the fight isn't finished. Another eruption catches him and sends him falling toward the burning city, with destructive power trailing behind him. Moonlight Shimmer badly wounds the entity, but its tendrils and energy attacks keep resisting. It gathers enough power to continue fighting, so the city below remains in danger. Then Alex uses Thousand Blade Whip attack, knocking the burning entity toward the city. He urges restraint, but the attack keeps coming. He demands an explanation as the young swordsman turns to Zeke and says, "Watch carefully before demonstrating the next sword strike." The father's lesson about survival carries into the next technique. Alex follows the first strike with Guillotine, Demon King Slash, and the blow connects. Alex. A nearby statue reacts, while he spots Zeke coughing in the ruined street and grows suspicious. Now the skeletal entity they thought was dead rises from the burning rubble. Alex reveals his colossal demon form. He attacks through the ruins. He prepares a large weapon, then explains the exact timing needed to intercept the burning entity overhead. And Deus laughs quietly while a trapped fighter groans inside the entity's crushing coils. Alex strains against the same power, but its next colossal strike breaks through his defense. Now Alex takes the full force of that attack, then answers with a demonic blast that tears through the battlefield. Nearby, a young swordsman carries a sleeping child and uses the inherited technique. He calls out "Moonlight Shimmer" and keeps fighting for the burning city. A sick father coughs beside the sleeping child as the swordsman finishes the combo with a full force slash. Will the name technique pierce the huge demonic entity's defenses? The strike lands and wakes the nearby statue-like entity, which explodes across the burning city square. Then Zeke escapes the wrecked plaza, but Alex stays behind as the destruction keeps tearing through the city. He refuses to lose his reputation and declares, "My good name, I'll protect you no matter what." The huge demonic entity is still standing, and neither he nor Zeke has stopped it yet. The warriors keep using their named sword techniques against the entity's tendrils and energy attacks. It tears through the burning city, but his buried power starts taking over. An attack from its eye rushes straight at him and explodes, leaving Alex to endure the blast. And as the explosion swallows the city square, a broken memory explains the sword technique. A father calls it the clan's secret art, passed down through generations, and his child accepts the lesson. Back in the ruined square, someone hangs from a wooden cross-shaped structure while the city burns around them. So the sword technique finishes with a vertical blast that erupts through the burning square. The explosion wrecks the area, and once it fades, someone remains hanging from the wooden cross-shaped structure. Their fate is still unclear. Afterward, the servant serves coffee made from dragon tongue and eyeball. Alex looks over the town and admits there isn't much to see, but he still likes it. Before he chooses another destination, Zeke panics and begs him to wait. Alex needs a way to recover the money lost in the town's destruction. He suggests robbing the neighboring kingdom, which immediately alarms his companions. Nobody agrees to the plan. Their wagon keeps moving. So the skeletal army marches along the same route while survivors search the ruins for missing relatives. Rebuilding the town and hiring workers will cost plenty, so Alex drops the robbery idea. He chooses a village as the starting point of his plan while the carriage crosses the hills. Alex and Zeke travel toward the chosen village, but his old position still hangs over them. If the demon world learns he abandoned the Demon King throne, dangerous forces may come after him. Zeke stays alert as a fleeing traveler runs directly into a beast stampede. A hooded leader approaches with a mounted force, adding another danger along the road. Back in the ruined community, survivors clear rubble and hand out food. They need a gravekeeper, laundry boy, chamber servant, and woodcutter. Alex keeps the village as his starting point, while the carriage moves across the hills. And a broken warning alarms Alex. His demon seed will find an unknown target, and Zeke says the Warriors Guild may disappear. With the town destroyed and their losses growing, he still needs somewhere to go. But a woman runs toward the carriage with a beast horde behind her. Survivors keep clearing the ruined town and handing out food. Alex decides to begin rebuilding in a village as the carriage crosses the hills. Alex also knows the demon world may hunt him for abandoning the throne. Zeke warns that the Warriors Guild could be destroyed. While he rests, a demonic arm bursts from his body, proving his demon nature is still active. Then an attendant rushes in with another urgent report. Alex chooses the village as the starting point for rebuilding his ordinary life. His intense response to the plan involving the Warriors Guild leaves its fate uncertain as the carriage keeps moving. Zeke asks whether Alex just prevented a greater disaster. He is exhausted from his demonic transformation and can't give a clear answer. He sticks with the village plan while the consequences of leaving the Demon King throne remain unresolved. Then a woman runs across the open field, though there's no forest nearby for her to escape from. Before Alex decides whether to help, a magical disturbance scares the carriage horse. Riders approach, forcing the travelers to flee while he struggles onward. So Alex still hasn't decided whether to help the woman reclaim her temple from the bandits. First, he has to drag himself up the steep mountain. A greater confrontation waits at the summit. The golden dragon confronts Alex on the mountain, her masked golden face glowing as she tells him he's finally realized his place. Alex reels, unable to believe what he's hearing. To leave the Yellow Jade realm, he may have to bow to the dragon god after all. Inside the Yellow Jade realm, the servant warns Alex that fighting here is dangerous because the land belongs to its ruler. Magical fire strikes a bandit. The fleeing woman begs him to clear the remaining bandits from her temple, but he refuses. Now Alex reaches the wrecked destination and announces, "We're here." Still disoriented, he asks who invaded the temple and where his helmet went. The woman's request remains unanswered as he heads toward the realm's ruler. The woman's plea about the temple still hangs unanswered while Alex faces the golden dragon inside the Yellow Jade realm. She claims authority over every dragon, and he asks, asks, "Is that what this is about?" The golden dragon responds by threatening to kill him. The golden dragon presses her advantage in the yellow jade realm, and her fiery threat leaves Alex's companion silent, but Alex still refuses to submit. Afterward, he rounds on Deus, suspecting the schemer engineered this whole meeting, and the bandits panic when his fire refuses to die. The woman asks him again to drive them from her temple, but Alex walks away without answering. He complains that they're crossing the mountains on foot instead of flying. And inside the yellow jade realm, the golden dragon claims divine authority over dragonkind. She calls Alex a silly child and orders him to bow. He stays serious and refuses. His refusal starts the clash. The golden dragon traps him inside the yellow jade realm. She calls him Demiurgos DCLX Fic. She orders him to kneel. Alex still rejects her authority. Then he mocks the order, and the golden dragon shouts, "How dare you!" Back at the temple, the bandits fall silent when Alex's fire keeps burning. The woman is still waiting for his answer. Alex refuses to clear the bandits from the woman's temple. He continues through the mountains on foot to preserve his demonic dignity, passing the ruined temple and a collapsed traveler. Dragonkind and humankind remain opposed throughout the journey. So the golden dragon invokes dragon law and names herself the mother and god of dragons. She offers Alex mercy if he begs, but he refuses. Furious, she orders him to kneel and ask forgiveness, while his way out remains uncertain. So Alex counters and forces the golden dragon back as their flames fill the yellow jade realm. She goes silent from the shock. Recovering, she demands how he can defy the god and mother of dragons. Alex remembers how his promise of eternal fire finally scares the bandits away from the temple, granting the woman's request. The golden dragon asks whether he travels with an unarmored masked warrior. He continues riding quietly after abandoning the Demon King throne. Inside the yellow jade realm's coastal city, Alex demands the golden dragon's helmet as an old woman warns him about nearby danger. The golden dragon declares herself the one true god of dragons. He considers the law supporting her authority and prepares his answer. But the golden dragon attacks when Alex keeps defying her. Their flames slam together at close range. She finally senses the power behind his resistance and admits he may be Demiurgos. He still hasn't escaped her realm or agreed to submit. Alex reveals his demonic nature right in front of the golden dragon, forcing her to recoil. Deus points out that dragonkind attacked first and broke the peace treaty. That leaves her demand for an apology on weak ground. The golden dragon insists nobody is forcing Alex to interfere with the extremist dragons. He must decide whether he'll help her deal with them. He pats her head, he pushes the confrontation toward an answer, and Alex finds a strange parasite attached to the captive dragon. This confirms peaceful dragons are being turned into weapons. Their victims remain in danger, so the golden dragon waits to hear whether he will hunt them and what payment he'll demand. Then Alex agrees in principle, but only as paid work. He warns the golden dragon that their pact binds the soul and can't be broken. He demands his release and promises to finish within a few days, though they haven't settled his payment. The golden dragon vows no more deaths, but Alex still hasn't confirmed the hunt or named his price. He and Deus hurry away by carriage. She tries to stop them from leaving the yellow jade realm. Then the golden dragon shuts down the argument, while Alex insists he was only visiting a village. She won't be pinned down on exactly what she is to the dragons, and Alex refuses to buy the deflection. He demands his release since the yellow jade realm is hers, and as he and Deus leave, she reaches after them and orders them to wait. Alex stops the clash, but the golden dragon insists she's showing him mercy. Their argument over a suspected trap still turns violent. He now has to decide whether her offer can be trusted. Now the golden dragon explains that the extremists reject the peace treaty. Rage consumed them, and they turned yesterday's dragon into a victim. She wants to stop more innocent dragons from becoming weapons and dying alone. Alex answers with one condition: what will I get in return? So Alex raises his price to 500. The golden dragon says she understands what their binding deal means, but his threat catches her off guard. She still hasn't accepted the terms needed to save the captive dragons. Now Alex refuses to let the golden dragon shift the blame. One of her dragons wrecked the village while she abandoned her duty. He says her power means nothing if she won't control dragonkind. So, the golden dragon asks Alex to hear her out. She needs him to hunt the dragons held by the extremists, but he hasn't agreed. His payment could decide whether he takes the job. And Alex stays angry while the golden dragon explains what happened. The extremist infected peaceful dragons with powerful magic she doesn't recognize, then forced them to attack villages. He understands their victims, but he still doesn't trust her enough to accept the hunt. Alex turns the rescue into a negotiation and demands weapons and armor forged in dragon's breath. The golden dragon goes silent at that price. Without her agreement, he may refuse the hunt. Now the golden dragon starts connecting Alex to the Demon King. After leaving the yellow jade realm, he realizes her proposed deal isn't what he expected. He remains angry about her terms, and the golden dragon stays silent after Alex threatens her. but they soon resume arguing over the dragons and her responsibility. Her answer alarms him. He still doesn't know whether the extremist's motive changes his decision. So Alex suddenly pats the golden dragon and repeatedly slaps her while she protests that he misunderstood. She explains that some extremists lost loved ones to humans. That gives them a motive, but it doesn't excuse forcing infected dragons to attack villages. The infected dragons destroy part of the village, while the extremists hold peaceful dragons hostage. The golden dragon asks what Alex wants. He names his price. She calls it extortion, leaving the rescue dependent on whether she accepts. Meanwhile, the bargain seems to drain something out of the golden dragon, who accuses Alex of extorting her. A purple-haired demon reacts with open hunger. Then the golden dragon starts to plead as Alex and Deus approach the ancient statue ruins. The captive dragons are still waiting to be rescued. Alex accuses the golden dragon of deceiving him and says their bargain cheated his side. She denies knowing what he means, so his payment and decision remain unsettled. But a hooded man suddenly interrupts them, startling Alex and the golden dragon. She notices blood on herself. She demands an explanation, but the hooded man hesitates. The golden dragon apologizes. He accepts. They calm down. The captive dragons are still waiting. So Alex pulls them back to the violet parasite. It's driving the extremists to break dragonkind's neutrality, and the peaceful dragons will die if humans attack first. The golden dragon needs he to accept the hunt and name his price. Alex agrees to hunt the infected dragons, but his price is 5 dragon scales. The golden dragon is stunned. He declares the contract final. Their terms are settled while the captive dragons remain in danger. Alex reveals his demonic power once the contract is sealed. The golden dragon orders her forces to take him alive, but he walks away with a license to hunt infected dragons and cheekily floats invading a neighboring kingdom while he's at it, leaving the golden dragon vowing revenge. Then dragons keep attacking and burning the surrounding land. Alex warns that stopping them won't be easy. A bandaged boy nervously apologizes for being an F-class defect, but his family rank may not define him. Alex rests while the image of a skeletal swordsman hangs over him. The danger is still there, along with one question. Is the bandaged boy really F-class just because his family is? Alex rejects that idea, insisting being from an F-class family doesn't make him F-class. Later, he cooks noodles, and his first customer loves them. Another diner tries some before food splatters over him. Dragons fly above the burning land as he repeats that stopping them won't be easy. And now the noodle-covered customer tries to appeal to Alex. The exchange turns tense. Deus asks why, and he claims he's the biggest landlord in all of fantasy. He refuses to let social rank or property rights threaten his shop. A plea rings out while dragons cross the land. A young man's reaction suggests the attacks are becoming harder to contain. Alex warns that stopping the dragons won't be easy, leaving his group's success uncertain. Dragons keep burning the land as Deus joins the others. Alex rejects their proposed solution because stopping these attacks isn't that simple, leaving them without an answer. Then back at the warrior noodle shop, Alex gets another fresh meal. The cook urges him to quit being a warrior and start cooking instead. Before anyone can question his connection to the Holobic warrior clan, the noble customer hit by flying food threatens to use his father's status and shut the shop down. The noble customer hears himself compared to a fly and explodes at the insult, startling everyone inside. The cook's connection to the Holobic warrior clan could come out if this argument continues. And Zeke happily agrees with Alex, who isn't bothered by the trouble around them. Elsewhere, the golden dragon orders her followers to seize their targets and squeeze their last breath, turning the hunt deadly. So while attacks wreck the town, Alex and Deus claim an ownerless building. Its occupants vanished during the Age of Dragons. Nobody remains to challenge them. Deus starts calculating how much wealth it could bring, while his pursuit of every weapon continues. Alex keeps eating as the cook chats with his customers. One onlooker suddenly recognizes the cook as a member of the Holobic warrior clan. The cook realizes his secret may reach everyone nearby. So an angry customer confronts the cook and a woman in front of everyone. Before the argument can settle, an unknown magical trigger blasts the woman backward, throwing the shop into confusion before the cook can hide his identity. So Alex keeps eating and brushes off Deus's garbled warning, but the attackers reach them anyway. The golden dragon's followers close in under orders to bring the targets in alive. The assault leaves Alex spent among the wreckage while Deus keeps hunting every weapon he can. A skeletal force gathers power nearby as the attacks continue. Deus praises how quickly they found the ruined site, but Alex complains that he barely slept and lashes out over their repeated losses. They eventually stop at a noodle stall where the cook's Holobic connection still hangs over him. Zeke praises the food while Alex eats in silence. The cook realizes his secret is slipping when several customers identify him as a warrior from the Holobic's clan. Everyone reacts in surprise, confirming that his connection is now public. And Alex blasts the hostile customer away, and the magical backlash leaves the man's scarred companion screaming in pain. Deus finally states his goal: take every weapon in the world and rule from the darkness. useless. But a crystal detonates and swallows one figure in a huge explosion. A skeletal army gathers in the wreckage as Alex starts transforming for the fight. The weapon hunters keep attacking. Deus holds Alex back long enough to toast their hidden real plan, but he steers them straight toward food. He orders noodles. Zeke gets ready to eat. The nervous cook mistakes their comment for a complaint about flies. Then falling wreckage leaves two nobles stunned, while a terrified woman screams as a nobleman is hurled away. Alex condemns anyone who insults people risking their lives for others, and he gets ready to strike back. Leah Castle has already been hit before he can reach it. Alex and Zeke race through the night toward Leah Castle. Their journey stops cold when a huge ice creature rises ahead, leaving one rider too stunned to speak. Whatever attacked the castle got there first. Then soldiers fight through the deadly blizzard, yelling for everyone to hold on as weapons punch through their defenses. A woman traveling with a child questions the strange warrior ahead. Shattered ice exposes a frozen person, proving people beyond the castle have already been caught. So the ice creature announces itself near Leah Castle. As Alex and Zeke race through the forest by carriage, Zeke nervously answers he while driving straight toward it, with no idea how many people are still alive. Alex and Zeke reach the castle grounds and find the fortress crushed beneath the enormous ice creature. Nearby, soldiers struggle through a blizzard that's freezing them to death. One soldier suddenly recoils when something unexpected happens. Everyone falls silent and points upward as something enormous appears above Leah Castle. Zeke forces the carriage through the blizzard and over the ice, while Alex begins a grim declaration. The destruction started before either of them arrived. Now Zeke flinches at the creature's roar, but he and Alex keep moving toward Leah Castle. Alex calls Zeke nothing, and moments later, Zeke finds the castle already destroyed. He demands to know what happened to its people. The soldiers drag themselves through the mountains, convinced their king abandoned them. A bloodied robed leader still fights an enemy with power no normal warrior should possess. What destroyed Leah Castle before Alex arrived? The accusations die when the colossal ice creature rises above the frozen fortress. Now Leah Castle's fate is clear. The city has fallen. Its people are frozen where they stood. The driver tells the terrified traveler in the bucket helmet when to swing his stick. Alex sizes up the enormous creature as the carriage races around the final turn, and the carriage barrels toward Leah Castle, while Alex asks how Zeke usually answers adventure. Zeke spots survivors fleeing the ruined city and thanks God that some escaped, but people may still be trapped near the castle, and they're running out of time. And the bloodied robed leader calls on their power before a petrified being. A violent clash sends one soldier flying, then another body drops beside the ice spikes. Alex and Zeke pass a frozen corpse trapped in the cliff as the driver speeds toward the fallen castle. Zeke refuses to repeat his earlier mistake and confronts the attacker threatening the wagon. Before he can act, a magical blast hurls the masked attacker away. Zeke stops cold as fighting erupts around him. Then the driver takes Alex and Zeke around the last turn and reaches the frozen ruins. He says the stage and audience are ready as the battle begins. The soldiers still dismiss Zeke because he's carrying a stick, but he steps forward to face the creature. The soldiers retreat when Zeke's power overwhelms what they expected from a man holding a stick. More people freeze before they can escape, leaving Zeke between the creature and the survivors. Alex gives a weary confirmation as the creature closes in, so the many-eyed creature attacks through the frozen ruins. Alex finally steps in. He meets the creature head-on, takes control of a powerful blade, and prepares a fast counterattack before anyone else dies. So the blizzard grows stronger as Alex collides with the creature. The impact throws him backward. He slides out of control down the frozen mountainside. Zeke pushes through the cold and falling debris, still trying to reach the survivors. Now the many-eyed corruption gathers enough power to strike the frozen castle again. Alex draws out more demonic strength. Alex rips through the ice around him. An unidentified fighter reaches the frozen creature, adding another combatant before the clash is decided. A hunter can't understand why a D-class hunter is here. The survivors cheer anyway, leaving Zeke overwhelmed but determined. They dismissed him for carrying only a stick. So can he defeat the creature? Before they find out, a falling combatant smashes through the ice and breaks the frozen ground. But Alex lets part of his human disguise fall, exposing the demonic runes underneath. Still wearing his shopkeeper form, he dives through the violent energy at high speed. He reaches the creature, he attacks before it can recover. Zeke braces against the blizzard with only his staff. The soldiers already dismissed him, but he still intends to fight. Above the frozen battlefield, Alex descends in a partly transformed demonic form, with wings spread behind him. He reaches the ice creature first and drives his sword straight into it, blasting through its defenses. The creature survives. Alex moves in for another clash. Farther away, a hunter realizes the fighting now reaches across the snowy mountains, and the survivor's faith gives Zeke the courage to declare his goal. He wants to become a warrior they can trust, but the soldiers still doubt him, and he must face the creature with only his staff. Then Alex dives into the corrupted creature and lands strike after strike, keeping it away from the trapped population. His attack tears through its body and splits the surrounding ice. Thick fog blocks Zeke's view of the fight near the distant ice castle. The helmeted fighter finds Alex asleep and hesitates, but the many-eyed monster keeps attacking. The ice beast thrashes crashes with a weapon lodged in its head. He wakes and starts revealing his demonic form because the creatures still threaten the castle's survivors. Then Alex completes his transformation and gets ready to attack. From a distance, the crowd mistakes the clash for a warrior's rescue and cheers without knowing who's winning. Their hope strengthens the helmeted fighter's resolve, though his stick still hasn't defeated the creature. Zeke still has to prove his stick can defeat the creature after the soldiers dismissed him. Before he gets that chance, Alex hammers the purple monster with repeated attacks. More ice breaks apart, sending debris across the ruined town. Zeke forces his way through the blizzard toward a place where Alex can find him. He refuses to repeat his failure and promises, "I'll do my best this time." He charges back toward the creature, so Alex slams the many-eyed creature again, and chained explosions rip through the frozen castle. His demonic traits emerge, but the surviving townspeople think Zeke won. They cheer, convinced their prayers have been answered. The helmeted Zeke pushes across the ice with everyone counting on him. His stick still hasn't proven it can destroy the creature. The corrupted thing survives his attack, surges forward, and releases another twisted cry. Alex cuts into the creature. Alex follows with several explosive strikes. Each blow tears through its body, but the blasts also wreck more of the frozen castle. And Zeke braces behind his shield, swings his stick, and meets the next attack. Ice bursts apart around him. Alex stays focused on the creature, while nobody can tell what Zeke's strike accomplished. Alex finishes the creature with a beam, meaning Zeke's stick never lands the killing blow. Zeke endures the blast as ice. Zeke debris fall across the damaged city. Far away, the crowd credits Zeke and celebrates his victory. The creature falls, but purple corruption continues moving through its living host. The host could die unless Alex stops it. He responds by unleashing 100 hands against the infection. And Alex uses Demon of 100 Hands to grip the ice dragon's exposed energy core. The force shatters the surrounding ice and rock, while blood starts running from his injured eye. So the infected creature counters Alex's multiplied arms with blades and violent demonic wind. A nearby fighter tries protecting the others, but the attack freezes and shatters him. Another ice creature rises. He recognizes the same deadly pattern from before. The warriors still don't know whether the purple growth will kill its host. As the skeletal creature advances, they panic and order the injured fighter to run. He refuses because he still considers himself a warrior, then collapses bleeding in the snow. Then Alex uses 100 Hands again. One enormous arm splits into 3, and the multiplied limbs grab the creature's energy blade. He prepares to overpower the infected host before the corruption moves any further. The blast sends the watching warriors into a panic. A masked child cries out for the frozen fighter. The purple growth is still moving, but can they stop it before the host dies? Another icy explosion rips across the battlefield before anyone gets an answer. But Alex gets ready to strike as the creature smashes through the ice and rock. The injured fighter believes he can't protect everyone the way the other warriors can. He still refuses to run because he considers himself a warrior, then collapses bleeding in the snow. So can Alex stop the purple growth before it kills the host? He drives his multiplied tendrils through the ice, but the infected creature pounds them back. The mountain shakes. One enormous arm bears down on everyone trapped nearby. Another hit sends the infected creature reeling, but the surrounding warriors still can't step in. A child panics as the frozen fighter starts breaking apart. The injured fighter refuses to flee because he's still a warrior, then falls bleeding into the snow. Alex gets caught in the creature's icy counterattack and screams in pain, but it survives. Zeke shields the crying child while panic takes over. He condemns the warriors, saying their ignorance has turned them into human weapons. The purple growth still hasn't stopped, and its host is running out of time. Then he challenges the fallen Zeke and asks how he could ever defeat him. The infected creature survives another explosive clash, so Alex pulls his multiplied limbs into one huge fist. Before he can crush it, the creature grabs Zeke and holds him above the ice. The injured fighter still refuses to flee and collapses bleeding in the snow. The infected creature pushes through the snow while the purple growth keeps eating through its host. Alex slams another powerful strike into it, then charges toward the trapped Zeke before the next impact buries him. Zeke attacks the ice. Zeke promises to free the trapped survivor, but another icy shockwave tears across the battlefield. An injured defender warns him to run. Zeke refuses because he still considers himself a warrior, then collapses bleeding in the snow. And his attack rips across the ice and severs the creature's limb, but the purple growth still threatens its host. Nearby, an injured fighter apologizes to his master for failing to hold his position. Now the corrupted creature keeps fighting, so he closes his manifested hand around its core. The beast resists, but Alex tightens his grip and crushes it. The injured fighter refuses to flee because he's still a warrior, then collapses bleeding in the snow. The corrupted mass survives his reverse slam and twists through the wreckage. The purple growth can keep spreading until its host dies. Alex attacks through the extreme cold, but the shattered ice reveals the creature is still active. Then now, their clash drives a huge ice formation out of the ground, spraying shards everywhere. Zeke refuses to escape and says, "I'm a warrior, even if I'm just a defect." He holds his ground, then collapses bleeding in the snow. Inside an ornate hall, the bandaged merchant suddenly flashes back to the earlier disaster. He blurts out, "What happened to the dragon and the baby?" His memory starts with Alex accepting accepting the job as the burning city faces destruction. And Alex attacks while the bandaged merchant lies sprawled among scattered weapons and debris. A hooded man leaves, and Warrior Noodles eventually opens for business again. Alex rides away in a hay cart under visible strain, with the dragon and baby's fate still unclear. So the bandaged merchant replays the decisive clash, but still can't say what became of them. The wounded fighter lunges at the ice monster, but its core stays active. Their collision erupts and sends the fighter's sword and shield flying. Now his memory moves to the group approaching the shop after the disaster. The bandaged merchant still can't fully make sense of it. He only remembers trusting it would all work out, because Alex took the job and dropped down toward the burning city. The memory still doesn't reveal what happened to the dragon or baby. Instead, the blade finishes its strike while Alex signals his approval. He eats noodles. He treats the battle as an established routine. So a huge skeletal creature rises beneath the airborne cart and flips the wagon. A fighter receives the order to engage, launches toward the fire dragon, and hits it with an energy blast that damages the monster. Back at the Demon King's weapon shop, Zeke finds purple markings creeping across his arm. The battle has left something behind in him. Before anyone learns the dragon and baby's fates, Zeke faces a huge winged creature as explosions tear through their clash. Meanwhile, Alex wakes among the rubble without knowing what struck him. Near the trees, a giant winged monster attacks, leaving the burning city under another devastating assault. And the dragon and the baby are still missing. Following the order to engage, Zeke slams his shield into the fire dragon. He survives the clash. He stands firm among the wreckage. But the purple marks are creeping down to Zeke's legs now. Proof the corruption is only spreading. Fighters flee as the winged creature keeps attacking. Alex wakes in the rubble while scattered weapons rain down around him. Before anyone finds the dragon or the baby, the winged creature strikes the cart carrying the injured Zeke. Alex keeps eating noodles, ranking the broth well above the burning city. On his master's order, Zeke launches himself at the beast. Then people below recognize Alex approaching and panic, because he's the Demon King. His arrival changes how they view the battle. After the destruction, masked Zeke leaves while he rests on a huge pile of discarded weapons. His hatted companion, Deus, approaches him. The dragon and the baby remain unaccounted for while the fighting continues. Alex gives the order to attack and prepares his own strike. Something suddenly hits near his face, startling both him and the winged entity. Then Alex keeps eating noodles while commanding the assault. He remembers the destroyed hay cart as an unidentified attacker follows his order. The attacker dives toward the winged entity and starts the next exchange. So Zeke's staged victory keeps paying off, while the dragon and baby remain missing. After the beast is cut down, the villagers praise their masked rescuer for saving Doria Castle and their village. Alex pressures two frightened helpers to accept his revised plan, because he wants wealth, not an ordinary store. Alex gives the operation an ornate dwarven shield that can withstand 3 or 4 blows from the Demon King. It's valuable enough to impress an A or S-class warrior, and he prices it like 1. A young man challenges an unseen presence, and someone cries, "Master." The servant catches the shield as pink-white electricity and purple energy erupt near Alex. The dragon, the missing baby, and the wounded warrior still haven't been found. A robed attendant questions why an ornate shield belongs with an F-class warrior such as Zeke. The gathered warriors tense up. Another observer calls the decision greedy. A hooded visitor calmly orders an unseen ally to continue without them. Now the hooded visitor uses chained ring magic to stop the violence, even though the spell causes visible strain. The visitor approaches the cathedral and declares, "I'm here to do God's work." Zeke's equipment dispute is about to become a religious confrontation. The dragon and the baby are still unaccounted for, and the bandaged merchant is none the wiser. A woman submits under intimidation while a restrained boy coughs nearby. Zeke obeys the order. Zeke catches the heavy ornate shield that activates a portal-like structure, and pink-white electricity and purple energy erupt near Alex. Under the night sky, a fur-clad lord pressures a blonde girl to agree with him, though his demand remains unclear. Before she answers, rapid strikes and an explosion rip through the cathedral gathering. People fly across the hall. Someone realizes a single attacker caused all this destruction, and the hooded attacker gives the cathedral gathering no time to recover. They advance through the wreckage. They cut across the bloody battlefield as the violence continues. Everyone inside falls silent, with no sign that anyone can survive this attack. And Alex enters his lavish new weapon shop with the bandaged merchant and his hatted companion Deus. The magnificent eye-emblazoned shield still needs an owner. Before Alex names one, the shop's magic yanks a young man into a portal, and he still answers eagerly, "Yes, boss." The feast hall leaders celebrate among the fallen soldiers until a hooded fighter crashes into the gathering. The fighter scatters the defenders and calls a woman to safety while a beastly opponent closes in. Then another airborne strike tears through the feast hall. Back at the weapon shop, his companions admire its lavish furnishings, but Alex still hasn't revealed who will receive the magnificent eye-emblazoned shield. Alex orders his ritual assistant to recite the incantation, but the spell transports a confused Zeke into darkness. Zeke asks where they are as the portal loses control. A magical explosion destroys the weapon shop, putting the shield's delivery in doubt. So Alex answers that question after the blast. He gives Zeke the magnificent eye-emblazoned shield and declares, "That's yours now." Back in the feast hall, a sudden attack silences the celebrating leaders. The hooded figure confronts them and says they will judge whether the newcomer came from God or something else. So the hooded attacker crushes the feast hall fighters and leaves the hall in ruins. They defeat the beastman, silence the remaining leaders, and repeat that they will judge whether the newcomer came from God or something else. Alex refuses to handle the weapon shop's ordinary owner duties, too dread a lord to work a cash register, while his companions worry. Instead, he tests the shop's magic by combining blue, dark stone, and chaotic elements. The resulting eye emblazoned spell opens another unstable portal, leaving the rebuilt shop in immediate danger. Alex crosses the smoking ruins with his hooded companion. He points out that he destroyed his own weapon shop on opening day. He says the spell needed testing and business is booming. Nearby, Zeke struggles to process that the eye emblazoned shield belongs to him, while the Shadow Dame boasts about her collection and refuses to share it. But the hooded figure brushes past a swordsman and releases enough power to scatter the fighters and wreck the nearby mountains. The survivors finally understand what stands before them. Facing the hall's leaders, the hooded figure says they will judge whether the newcomer came from God or something else. The hall's leaders hear the hooded figure repeat that judgment. As Alex considers those words, he starts questioning whether he belongs to the 0th generation. The hooded figure realizes Alex can't belong to the 0th generation because his lineage doesn't follow the expected order. That leaves one grim answer. He is the demon king who can defeat entire armies, and the observers finally recognize who they're facing. And the sacred investigator still can't explain why people keep vanishing without a trace. The hooded attacker leaves another bloodied ruin behind. Officials present their records for God's judgment, but none of the evidence identifies what caused the disappearances. Then Alex examines something unusual beside the injured, sleeping Zeke while their wagon travels through the night. Humans usually have children at 20, so he tries applying that pattern to the generational count. It still doesn't explain Zeke's true nature. A magical blast confirms the targets are pure blood, but the hooded attacker grabs one before the sacred investigator can learn why people are disappearing. Village merchants provide the investigator's only lead. They call the suspect White Hair. Then, with the attack nearly over, the hooded attacker shrugs that the golden dragon can take care of what's left. Alex returns to the wagon where Zeke sleeps. He dismisses any concern about payment and promises to provide more for Zeke's siblings when the time comes. The injured man stays unconscious as the lineage explanation continues. Each person has a child at 20, creating one generation after another. Alex already knows he isn't from the 0th generation. A burning object falls from the sky, and he wonders whether it's an airship before his master calls his name and makes him answer. Now the golden dragon follows her master's order and moves through the wreckage to finish the remaining work. Destruction surrounds the falling object, but Alex still can't explain why dragons are breaking their neutrality agreement. Now Alex rides through the night beside the wagon driver and the injured young man. The driver's knowing smile keeps he focused on the unfinished lineage lesson. Before he hears what happens at the 5th generation, something burning appears ahead. Could it be an airship? The driver explains that the 5th generation's child must first turn 20. Before he can reveal what happens next, they confirm a burning airship is crashing near the mountains. A powerful blast follows. Alex heads toward the fighting while questioning why dragons have broken their neutrality agreement. The purple-haired man panics when he realizes the shroud serves the sacred authority. She ends the interrogation and leaves to follow the lead connected to Alex. Outside, something burning crosses the night sky. It may be an airship. And Alex keeps traveling through the mountains beside the injured young man. His endurance lets him sleep despite his wounds. He notices something unusual about him, while the lineage lesson recalls he commanding a skeletal army. Nearby, dragons continue fighting despite their neutrality agreement. Alex and Deus decide to investigate the burning object, which may be an airship. Another dragon attacks through the wreckage, and a fresh explosion draws them toward the fighting. Fire covers a wrapped object on the mountain as a wounded knight retreats. A dragon-like beast attacks through the flames, and an icy blast cuts across the fight. The dragon's attack gives Alex another reason to question their neutrality. So before Alex can confirm whether the burning object is an airship, a huge explosion throws soldiers across the battlefield. A winged creature sweeps overhead as another beast attacks a swordsman. The swordsman prepares to counter. A commander warns the creature that it has lost its chance to leave peacefully. So Alex and Deus watch the dragon tearing through the wreckage. He hears a name beginning with Holy something and notices that it resembles Zeke's name. That connects this battlefield encounter to Zeke's background, while the dragon keeps violating the neutrality agreement. The burning object remains unidentified as knights charge a robed target on the rocky peak. Their commander calls them useless, then orders every archer and wizard to prepare. Another attack approaches, the troops obey immediately, and the defenders fire, but the clash triggers an explosion that throws Zeke onto the rubble. He lies exposed as the winged creature attacks again. The soldiers raise the alarm and brace for another assault, while the dragon continues breaking its neutrality agreement. A fighter counters and wounds the restrained creature. The commander invokes his father's authority, but Alex questions why dragons are fighting when their neutrality agreement forbids it. But the religious leader releases an attack as broken memories bring up Zeke. Soldiers drag a large wrapped bundle through the burning mountains and shout at each other to keep it from catching fire, while they subdue the huge creature. Then soldiers strain toward the wall with the huge bound newfound weapon as arrows rain down. A towering blast erupts beside the dragon, forcing them to haul the burden through the fire without losing control of the creature. The religious leader orders the archers to fire flaming arrows at the airborne threat, but a fighter rushes in and cuts off the beast's limb. An armored knight objects. The commander orders him to rest and heads toward the confrontation alone. Deus keeps the creature pinned while a masked fighter says more corpses still need handling. The knights clash. An unexplained power enters the fight before the soldiers can finish subduing the creature. Then the soldiers drag the huge wrapped object through the flames and realize it's much heavier than expected. Their commander pushes them onward while a robed elder pours tremendous power into the battle around them. The huge creature reels from the explosion, but the soldiers still can't subdue it while dragging the bound cargo through the fire. Zeke realizes the cargo survived and says, "Thank God." They still need to secure it before the fighting reaches them. A swordsman cuts deep into the creature's limb, alarming an onlooker. Alex finally realizes the restrained pack is another dragon, so the commander drops all restraint and orders the soldiers to kill both dragons. So the robed elder panics over the second dragon, while Alex watches from a distance. Soldiers keep pulling the wagon, carrying an unconscious Zeke across the burning battlefield, but a lookout warns, "We've been spotted." The huge creature is still trying to break free. Now the wounded creature shrieks as a decisive strike tears across the battlefield. A masked fighter cries out while protecting the restrained cargo, but the soldiers still haven't subdued the creature, leaving both Zeke and the captive exposed. The huge creature blasts fire at the archers, but a fighter stomps it into the ground. Before anyone can recover, another fighter obeys the kill order and swings at the restrained figure. And now an armored fighter demands an explanation from the soldiers. More armed fighters are entering the battlefield. Alex prepares to step in as they close around the dragons. An armored knight charges the hooded fighter, revealing how strong these newcomers are. Alex intercepts another knight. Their blades slam together as the fight closes in around him, and the hooded fighter calmly blocks every knight surrounding him. He fires a lightning spell through their ranks, dropping the armored soldiers, but more troops keep moving toward Alex and his companions. Then a golden-haired fighter starts gathering power, while another attacker charges through the debris. Their identities remain unclear. Alex tells them to hurry because the witness is getting bored. The knights keep attacking, but the hooded fighter shatters one shield and sends its owner flying. An archer fires magnum shot, hitting him and setting off an explosion as the battle continues. The blast doesn't stop Deus. He gathers enough lightning to endanger the whole battlefield, while a masked attacker appears behind the armored commander and sends him into a panic. So an unknown power awakens inside the masked attacker and bursts out in a huge blast. Everyone nearby is caught in its reach, and Deus calmly suggests leaving before the soldiers surround them. The newcomers still haven't revealed who they are. Deus loses his lance and looks down at his bloodied hand, while Alex strikes an armored knight and shatters the knight's equipment. Deus stays calm as his lightning tears through the battlefield, while another attacker wounds the armored commander. Alex and Deus move to higher ground and assess the burning field as more soldiers close in. So as the armed forces close in, Deus smiles, and Alex reacts with predatory excitement. The fading blast carries a warning that something has awakened. Who just entered this fight? He attacks the crater while Deus admits he's a bit scared. But a powerful magical explosion rips across the battlefield. Deus calmly follows through. Alex takes the opening, lands a finishing slash, and drops the armored knight. The awakened fighter and surrounding forces still endanger his companions. A magnum shot blasts Deus away as more fighters enter the battle. Alex uses the confusion to bite a fallen opponent's neck. Nearby, another warrior attacks and wrecks the surrounding ground, and one masked fighter holds position until Deus smiles and triggers the awakened warrior's power. The warrior breaks free and attacks. Alex blocks the sudden strike. They clash head-on. The awakened warrior lashes out while another impact tears through the clash. Armed reinforcements hold their ground as more fighters enter the dragon battlefield. Alex answers with a concentrated energy slash. Then Deus counters the archer's magnum shot with lightning bolts. Alex and Deus remain calm after the destruction, but another warrior lands nearby. The surrounding forces still block their escape. Then the masked fighter traps Alex in a rapid blade exchange. A sudden impact ends their clash and leaves Various kneeling among the wreckage. More fighters are still closing in, but who are they? Another burst throws Alex onto a grassy mound as a cross-shaped blast cuts through the darkness. Various charges through the debris and knocks him back, but he immediately answers with guillotine. Alex finds a fox-eared figure sleeping after the battle, but fighting continues nearby. Fallen knights surround a bound giant, and he asks, "There's more, isn't there?" The chained, armored opponent prepares to attack. Now Alex says he was dragged into the Demon King conflict and wants no part of it, but the hooded man laughs. He collapses beside a defeated armored fighter, then regroups near the survivor's wagon. Various approaches with a golden chain wrapped around one arm and prepares another attack. The chained attack explodes around him, but Deus spots the opponent's weak point and orders, "Pierce the stem." Various recognizes Alex and cries out in shock. Can he survive the next strike without revealing more power? Now Alex and Deus face the battered opponent in golden armor. He says he won't learn the truth until he acts, so they open a portal. He's still exhausted, but he keeps pressing the confrontation. So now the Golden Dragon arrives while Various drives Alex back with chains and armored strikes. Before he has to reveal more power, Zeke obeys Deus. He pierces the stem and strikes through the golden armored opponent's weak point, and Deus accuses Alex of saving the defeated opponent from him. The bound giant can't understand how weaker fighters beat him. He orders Deus into the portal while he stays behind to erase their tracks. He still has to finish and escape. The child stays asleep in an armored companion's arms while Alex scrubs the battlefield of evidence. Before he can step through the portal, the Golden Dragon appears and startles him. Alex grips his blade and insists it's impossible. Her arrival may cut off his escape, and their clash wrecks the forest. But Zeke's strike brings down the golden armored opponent. Deus confronts Alex with the word warrior and reacts in shock. The fallen enemy has exposed something important, and he still hasn't escaped. Deus urges Alex to retreat. He still needs to erase their tracks. Another attack could reach him. So Deus pulls Alex through the portal. Deus checks his injured arm. They escape while the sleeping child remains with the armored protector. A final blast erupts near an enemy warrior, proving someone is still fighting. Then Alex defeats the enemy warrior. Alex leaves the golden armored opponent buried in rubble. Deus says this outcome follows the order of the world. Their victory serves some larger design. The Golden Dragon realizes Alex caused the enemy's defeat. He considers killing the fallen enemy, but the Golden Dragon teleports away before he acts. Later, he sits beside the wagon and quietly guards the sleeping child. Now, Alex wonders if they can stay there. The Golden Dragon returns and invokes the rules that bind us both. She watches him protect the child, then prepares to question why he broke the ancient cycle. But Alex stays beside the sleeping child and the other witness while Deus waits by the portal. Denied her revenge, the Golden Dragon demands the truth instead, then teleports away with the carts. Zeke follows the order, and she leaves seething. Now he, the Golden Dragon, and Zeke reach the warrior clan's huge castle. They're investigating the case of the dragon poachers. She challenges Alex's claim that he's the Demon King, and asks why he broke the cycle and quit. The Golden Dragon says his kind isn't responsible for the war returning every 100 years. Even so, the binding force still weighs on him. Since Alex is the first Demon King to break the cycle, she asks why he abandoned the throne. So now, someone arrives at the wagon before Alex can answer. The Golden Dragon uses the interruption to press her request, but he triples the terms. She considers the bargain while his reason for leaving the throne stays hidden. Then Alex, Zeke, and the Golden Dragon approach the warrior clan's castle. Its wealth catches their attention. He explains that the clan has prospered for 60,000 years. The Golden Dragon refuses to interfere, which surprises him. Alex angrily challenges the unseen enforcers, but the Golden Dragon questions his attitude. She asks why he broke a 665-century cycle of destiny and quit being the Demon King. He avoids answering while she warns that the enforcers and the consequence coming in 20 years still threaten him. And Alex refuses to explain his decision, cutting off Deus's flowery greeting to the Mother of Dragons. He just tells him to open the portal. Deus, ever the showman, sweeps into a mock bow and opens it anyway. The Golden Dragon rejects his tripled demand, but reluctantly joins Alex and Deus for the next stage of the case. Now, the Golden Dragon admits an undisclosed source told her about Alex. She asks what he means by his unfinished warning, but he delays again. His abdication remains unexplained, while the enforcers and the consequence due in 20 years take priority. Now, the binding rules push Alex past his limit. He releases his power and demands they stop. The Golden Dragon warns that the enforcers are still dangerous. She presses him again, asking why he broke the cycle and quit being the Demon King. Then the Golden Dragon accepts Alex's triple demand, though she still doubts the deal. While they weigh the value of dragon weapons, he avoids explaining his abdication again. She reminds him that the enforcers remain active and that another consequence arrives in 20 years. Dressed for the mission, Alex leads the group out and rejects the claim that demons always mean harm. The Golden Dragon says the clans are hunting her children. She wants revenge. Still, she keeps pressing he to explain why he broke the cycle and abandoned the throne. The Golden Dragon realizes Alex can resist the binding rules in human form. Giving up the throne hasn't taken his power. Before he answers her, she warns that the enforcers are still dangerous and that a certain day will arrive in 20 years. He demands an explanation. But a major magical event begins before either of them answers. And Alex says his reason for quitting must wait until next time, leaving the Golden Dragon confused. Far away, an enormous hand touches a light and sends it rebounding for unknown reasons. Soon after, an airship approaches the Holistawardia clan's golden palace, but the visitors haven't revealed their purpose. Zeke suddenly collapses before the visitors can explain themselves, and a spirit-like presence rises above him. Alex and the others panic. A hatted visitor angrily orders the palace gate thrown open, while the bandaged merchant sheepishly admits the awkwardness. His wealth buys ties to the fallen Holistawardia clan and access to their warriors, but never their bloodline. Alex and the bandaged merchant slip into Holistawardia's political circle without tipping their real purpose. A marked nobleman studies a secret item and decides it was made recently, since the World Treasures list has no record of it. The discovery swings the clan's attention towards Zeke, while Alex stays coolly confident. So Alex notices the bandage merchant's money still hasn't bought him equal standing. He asks, aren't all warriors equal, so what's with you? A clan member calls the merchant common and uncouth. Hollis de Bordia will take his wealth, but its bloodline hierarchy still keeps him beneath them. So a Mark nobleman asks Alex to deliver a message to Zeke, though the visitor's connection to him remains unclear. His group enters the Hollis de Bordia meeting room, where rumors have already made the nobles wary. The clan still wants to know why they came. The clan formally receives the group and immediately demands their purpose. A Mark nobleman explains that Zeke keeps interfering with dragons, disrupting the business interests of several clans. Hollis de Bordia now considers him a threat, and Zeke, Deus, and Alex wait for Hollis de Bordia's answer. The bandage merchant formally introduces his companions Deus and Alex, then offers demon blood lava stones for dragon armor, haggling like a market day fishmonger. The deal could reveal whether the clan is mixed up in poaching dragons. Members from several clans plan to eliminate Zeke because he keeps disrupting their dragon business. Zeke freezes, but Deus stays calm as the group receives orders to destroy Hollis de Bordia and its cartel. But the clan brings up the 52nd final warrior, who defeated the Demon King after 13 days of fighting and later died from his wounds. They refuse the requested demon blood lava stones and offer other rare materials instead. A comparison reveals those stones were used in Zeke's dragon equipment. Then the clan representatives panic once they realize Zeke's associates are targets too. Alex also learns that ancient warrior clans protect their status by controlling the best weapons. The Golden Dragon orders the group to destroy Hollis de Bordia and its cartel for triple payment. Alex starts working out how to break the clan's control over warrior equipment. Armored footsteps suddenly approach the palace grounds, alerting his companion. With the castle so close, the group must strike without being discovered. A masked child explains that his father and grandfather never rose beyond low-level warriors. The clans have kept ordinary families beneath them for generations. A knight insists power will still pass to their descendants, but Alex senses an attack as the guards approach. Then Alex rejoins Zeke and the others outside the clan's palace. They identify the cartel's method. The warrior clans eliminate competitors and keep gathering weapons for themselves. His group still needs to break that monopoly and find proof of dragon poaching inside the castle. Alex and Zeke discuss their next move near the palace, but armed guards close in. A knight rushes past them, putting the entire operation at risk before they can enter the castle or secure evidence. A masked child rails at the warrior guild for charging fees poor families can never afford, even as he pushes to get his younger siblings admitted. The bandaged merchant says he knows exactly what their next move is. Zeke, meanwhile, credits his success to the gear his master supplied. So the Shadow Dame confirms to him that equipment gives warriors their greatest advantage. Since the clans control the best weapons, they can protect their status and suppress competitors. Alex considers attacking that monopoly, while evidence of illegal dragon poaching remains hidden inside the castle. Now the guards close in, while one companion envies the clan's protected wealth. The group keeps weighing how to break their control over warrior equipment. The guards prepare to confront them. The helmeted boy remains pleased with the plan. When a knight asks for Alex, the others say he went ahead and is probably still working. Now Zeke eagerly answers his master, while his companions admit the operation is a crime. The warrior clan's corruption runs deep, but the group still hasn't explained how they'll break the equipment monopoly or recover the dragon poaching evidence hidden inside the castle. And Alex and Zeke need to get around a system the clans have protected for tens of thousands of years. Their plan relies on evidence inside the castle, but taking it without exposing themselves won't be easy. Zeke confirms the castle contains proof of illegal dragon poaching and admits that stealing it is robbery. When the guards threaten their operation, Zeke rushes ahead while Alex heads toward the palace, forcing them to act before the plan is ready. And Alex finally gives his answer. We're robbing a warrior clan. Someone accuses him of pushing Zeke to reveal his true nature, but he keeps his motive hidden. Nearby, a clan member vows to turn the equipment into a family heirloom. Then a sudden attack nearly crushes Alex before the group can retrieve the dragon poaching evidence. The witnesses panic as the remaining clan weapons are compared with those already lost. He decides to handle this first and reveals his clawed demon persona, while the guards remain close. The guards approach the castle plaza. Zeke warns Alex that discussing the robbery outside could expose them. He turns to face the approaching threat, while Zeke still doubts they should attack a clan with so much power. Alex questions why the clan has so little ambition, then asks whether Zeke truly accepts the robbery. Zeke thinks back to their first meeting and says he wants his younger siblings to receive the happiness and opportunities his family never had. So Alex wants Zeke's siblings to live happily ever after, but that requires breaking the underwater seals. A hooded companion follows his order and confirms his prediction, while another companion panics over what waits below. The group discovers a huge creature chained underwater and covered in sealing talismans. An ancient book identifies what they're facing, and Alex leads everyone closer. If they free the bound creatures and the dragons destroy the city, who can stop them? His group starts breaking the underwater seals before the chained creatures can awaken. Alex smashes one huge chain, but the freed creature instantly roars and lashes out as its restraint breaks. So soldiers panic as a dragon flies over the golden city, burning buildings buildings below. Alex keeps the operation moving, and the servant launches a magical signal on his order. No one has stopped the dragons yet, but Zeke dives into the water, calling for his master, while Alex descends toward the chained creatures. Their seals remain intact. He clashes with one creature immediately. The group must break every restraint before the captives fully awaken. Alex cuts through more restraints as the bound creature screams and pulls hard against its chains. More dragons gather above the city beneath the storm. Nobody there can stop them yet, and the dragons keep wrecking the city while Alex breaks away. A horned demon recites Hola Polonia, Hola Satasoek, Hola Ash, Hola Vergreen, Hola Chestnut, Hola Zalkova. Deus monitors he through magical communication and confirms the operation is still moving. Alex, Zeke, and Deus plunge underwater toward another huge captive wrapped in chains and talismans. The creature is already fighting its restraints, so they don't have much time. They need to break the seals before it fully awakens. Then Alex keeps striking the creature's restraints and cuts through more chain links. A violent surge reaches the shoreline, but the seals still haven't broken completely. Above them, the freed dragons continue destroying the city. Then soldiers brace as another dragon comes in, but its attack tears through a tower. Fire and ice rip across the castle. Above the destruction, a cloaked reader continues the bloodline list. Holly Elder, Holly Silver Beach, Holly Cork Oak, Holly Cottonwood, Holly Willow, and more. Alex and a companion dive again, sinking toward another enormous chained creature. They haven't broken its seals when one eye opens beneath the restraints. It already knows they're there. A confused companion watches Alex swim straight toward the sealed creature, then follows him deeper. Another heavy impact tears through the castle city above, throwing soldiers and debris aside. The freed dragons keep attacking. Now the freed dragons overwhelm the castle city. One attack hits as a soldier screams, ice covers the area, and a dragon's tail tears through the burning grounds. The reader calmly explains that every name belongs to a revered blood clan with a long history. Alex's group still hasn't broken all the seals. Alex reaches the water. His helmeted companion discovers the magical bubble lets everyone breathe underwater. Before they can break the remaining seals, the chained creature wakes and roars at him. They have a fight on their hands. Alex responds by cutting through the remaining chains and talismans. The seal finally breaks at panel 1307, freeing the giant creature. Its furious roar makes clear that it intends to attack. So meanwhile, another dragon blasts the city's defenders as an ice-covered creature spreads its wings. A defender shouts at the attackers through the explosion, but they keep wrecking the castle city. Alex speeds away while dragons burn the streets, and ice covers the area, and the surviving defenders demand to know who caused the attack. Even Alex and a knight recoil at the damage, but he doesn't stay. He speeds away as the dragons and ice tear through the castle city. Who can stop them now? A knight celebrates surviving, but Alex feels detached from the victory. The golden dragon arrives and examines the destruction. The dragons aren't behaving naturally, which leaves two questions. What changed them, and who turned them against humans? And a noble woman refuses to seek revenge for the people she's lost. Before she can explain the dragon's unnatural behavior, another attacker approaches. Alex attacks while Zeke crosses the ruined palace above the fighting. Meanwhile, Deus starts hawking unusual daggers, armor, and shields to the crowd, turning the smoking ruins into a grand opening. Alex retreats to an empty bedroom to rest. The golden dragon watches him sleep unbothered, while the others hunt for the extremists infecting dragons and turning them against humans. So the golden dragon warns that the peace treaty is failing, but the noblewoman says the attack makes no sense. Something is forcing the dragons to behave unnaturally. Before the golden dragon explains, another attacker crashes through the ruins. Then Alex uses the destruction as cover. Alex orders his companions to escape. They obey, but another sudden attack alarms them. He later retreats to the bedroom alone while the others hunt the extremists infecting dragons and turning them against humans. The golden dragon insists she witnessed the entire attack, but Alex keeps circling back to the infection. It may explain why the dragons turned on humans. Before he can pin that down, he spots Zeke's distinctive helmet and realizes the masked warrior has joined the fight. Now Zeke intercepts the winged attacker in midair, buying everyone time to escape the burning palace. Word of the masked warrior reaches the frightened witnesses, and they finally accept the danger is real. The group must find the extremists infecting dragons and sending them after humans. But Alex heads back to bed after the attack, while the golden dragon walks back her claim that she saw everything. The dragons still shouldn't be acting this way. She says their god won't step in, so they'll have to uncover the cause themselves. The golden dragon confirms the dragon is infected because none of her children would naturally inflict such a terrible curse. Before Alex follows that lead, another armed fighter enters the ruined palace. A winged attacker strikes one fighter down, and a huge dragon-like creature sends the bystanders running. They still need to identify the extremists infecting dragons against humans. Alex watches the market thrive. He says making money is easy, but he still wants payment for hunting the dragons. The golden dragon promises he'll receive it. She also confirms that extremists are deliberately infecting dragons and making them attack humans. He must track them down. So now the golden dragon doubts revenge for dead friends, lovers, and relatives, fully explains the extremists' goal. She starts suggesting that someone wants to seize something greater, but a huge impact cuts her off. If the coming enemy isn't human, what will demonkind face? Then the immediate fighting settles. A warning changes what Alex and the Golden Dragon understand. Demonkind's next enemy won't be humanity. Neither of them knows what force will come for demonkind instead. The Golden Dragon says Alex's unexpected words improve her mood, then explains how far back this goes. During the 540th Great War, 10,000 years ago, hundreds of her children defected to a demon lord. That split still doesn't reveal who supplied the infection weapon being used now. And Alex keeps thinking about that ancient split among the dragons, but demonkind's coming enemy remains unknown. Elsewhere, the servant drops a vial in a bedroom. The suspicious accident makes him realize that the pieces don't fit together. The Shadow Dame makes a mocking remark, followed by broken memories of a sword strike and a disturbing swarm. His Demon King instincts return as he focuses on whoever is behind the infection. The supplier remains unknown, but Darosh, the Duke of Disease, is now connected to his investigation. Now demonkind's history comes into focus. Its people have survived in a sunless hell for over 60,000 years, and the Golden Dragon insists they are absolute. Alex considers all that suffering, but one question remains unanswered. If humans aren't demonkind's coming enemy, what force is? Then the Golden Dragon reveals that her children once defected to a demon lord, splitting the dragons from within. Their blood ties still complicate everything. The weapon driving them mad is the puppet mushroom of hell, known as the infection, but no one knows who supplied it. Demonkind's confidence finally gives way to fear as its enemies keep returning. Alex knows the appointed day will bring another confrontation, but if humanity isn't the true enemy, he still needs to know what demonkind will face. Alex reluctantly admits the old order may be right. The Golden Dragon points out its injustice because Earth is blessed while hell remains cursed. He presses her for a reason, but she can only admit that she doesn't know. And Alex examines the puppet mushroom of hell, fully aware of what the infection can do. Its supplier is still unknown. The warning becomes, we can't win. But he keeps asking what demonkind must face if humanity isn't the coming enemy. The answer is an enemy that keeps falling and rising again. In 20 years, his true nemesis will be humanity's endless courage, which has carried it through 66,580 years. Darosh, the Duke of Disease, is tied to the infection, but the supplier remains hidden. Alex still doesn't accept that answer. If God created both races, he wants to know why Earth is blessed while demonkind suffers in a cursed homeland. The Golden Dragon pushes him back toward the immediate task and orders him to find whoever infected her children and supply the weapon. So the search leads toward Darosh, one of the 7 demon lords, and the incarnation of poison and disease. The Golden Dragon says her proud species would rather die than abandon its principles. That means the infection could drive the dragons into open conflict, leaving Alex to question why Darosh is involved. So the Golden Dragon confirms that an unknown supplier gave the dragon faction the infection weapon. The culprit is still free. She warns that demonkind's enemy will change on the day of his promised ascension, and she senses that day is getting closer. The Golden Dragon demands an explanation, but Alex returns to God's unequal treatment of both races. She insists there must be a reason. He asks what that reason is, and even questions what God truly is, but no answer comes as the search continues. And the Golden Dragon dismisses Alex's objections and points to the Demon Lord traveling with him. That Demon Lord may know who supplied the dragon faction with the infection weapon. Strange connections can exist in this world, so he can't rule out demon involvement. That suspicion points Alex toward Darosh, the Duke of Disease, because his powers match the infection. Human extremists may be innocent. He has to investigate whether Darosh is spreading it. Their history makes another fight likely, but he still can't explain why all 3 races are being dragged into this. But that night, Alex dreams about the past and tearfully confronts Deus. He asks what could have turned Deus from demonkind, even after coveting Earth more than the earlier demon kings did. Deus brushes the question aside. He wakes suddenly, shaken by the memory. Then the Golden Dragon fights another rampaging dragon while his group supports her. Deus watches the battle and realizes something about it doesn't add up. He tells Alex they can use the crisis to their advantage once they understand what's really happening. Alex keeps thinking about the fighting while Deus investigates what feels wrong. Once Deus confirms something is off, he worries their plans have already been ruined. Neither of them can identify the cause yet. The Dimensional Library seems to hold a contradiction in its records, hinting that Deus's master may have tried to stop the war between humans and dragons, rather than start it. The memory breaks apart before revealing why Alex quit. He wakes beside Deus, alarmed that someone may be forcing all 3 races into war. Then the Golden Dragon realizes someone is using her children's rage to provoke the fighting. She still doesn't know who benefits from turning humans, dragons, and demons against one another. She orders Alex to hunt the infected dragons. He dismisses the proposal. A warning from Deus makes Alex understand that even slight contamination matters. Elsewhere, a demon celebrates as more fighting breaks out. The Golden Dragon finds clear proof that dragons are being poached. He questions Deus while that evidence puts the peace treaty at risk. Deus keeps pressing he to explain what's wrong with the fighting. Alex considers the question, but it pulls him into another memory. A dangerous creature sits bound in chains there, and its part in the war remains unknown. So the golden dragon confronts Alex inside that memory, and his power reacts to her presence. The recollection ends with Deus standing amid sweeping demonic destruction. That hints at yet another cause behind the war, but whoever is exploiting the dragon stays hidden. Now Deus searches the demon world, but can't find the missing man anywhere. Alex turns his attention back to protecting the peaceful life no earlier demon king ever had. He refuses to give that up and simply says, "I like it here." Now the memory briefly overwhelms Alex, but he sends Deus away and goes back to sleep. He considers a third cause for the coming war. Extremists may be helping Darosh attack humanity, but someone else is still exploiting the dragons. And meanwhile, the cycle begins again after bringing catastrophic battles for 665 centuries. Deus learns that the missing man is nowhere in the demon world. The failed search alarms him. Humans, dragons, and demons are all being pulled into the same war. Alex's claim that "I like it here" drags him into another disturbing memory. A question about God jolts him awake. He sends Deus away, and a warrior charges straight toward the icy dragon as a third cause for the fighting emerges. Later, Alex and Deus walk through the ruined city, but neither learns what caused this unnatural battle. Then at the Warrior Guild, an A-class knight demands to know why anyone would sponsor an F-class applicant over her. His group says they're registering a warrior, but they must wait for the queue to move. The guild still has to decide their applicant's class. The stern clerk waits behind the desk while the A-class knight boasts. Nearby applicants fall silent. Alex looks startled. The guild's class system already works against his group as the clerk prepares to judge their warrior. Alex regroups while the clerk gets the next inspection ready. The guild still hasn't recognized his applicant, and the officials bring out a test kit. They immediately call a huge armored applicant to the desk first. So the female knight confronts his group for missing the dragon attack. The hall falls silent. Alex hands the confused young applicant a written note, but its meaning isn't clear. The guild still hasn't assigned his warrior a class. Alex follows the official's instruction while the female knight takes over the argument. She says D-class warriors handle dragons because every class has a fixed role. He isn't impressed and he continues pushing the registration. A sudden cry interrupts the hall before the guild can assign his applicant. Alex stays focused as his companion hands over the registration paper. The clerk stamps it despite he protesting immediately. So a young guild member greets an arriving knight who approaches he about the dispute. Alex starts a sharp reply, but the guild still hasn't decided Zeke's rank. Staff bring out a test kit and prioritize the huge armored applicant waiting at the desk. But the clerk serves the huge armored applicant first, and Alex demands the full price of registration. He needs to know whether the fee will ruin his plan. Guild staff begin the formal assessment using the red crystal test kit. Alex and Deus watch as the crystal returns a C result. The guild still hasn't explained what that rank means or what it costs. And Zeke's class result still needs confirmation, and Alex keeps worrying about the fee. Zeke remembers reading a letter inside a burning settlement. He decides there to devote himself to his sponsor as an immense strike and ominous powers surround that choice. The guild activates the red crystal kit again to verify Zeke's status. Its response startles him. He leans toward the person running the test. Alex only gets out "you," leaving Zeke unsure what he recognized. Then the guild debates accepting B-class or challenging the assessment, while Alex worries about the price. The officer starts preparing a certificate naming Zeke a C-class warrior. Zeke remembers how freely blood designations were once granted and renews his dedication to his sponsor. Then the device suddenly interrupts the certification with another discharge. Alex takes the hit, but the red crystal makes the mechanism react unpredictably. He and the guild staff are alarmed, though Zeke remains C-class for now. The missions available to him still aren't clear. Alex submits the crystal and certification papers, but the nervous official keeps studying the strange result. He still wants to know the total cost. Despite that confusion, the official formally declares Zeke a C-class warrior. Zeke cries because the guild has finally ranked him above F-class. Alex hurries him away through the crowded street. Behind them, a bystander takes interest in the test's lingering discharge, so the strange result hasn't gone unnoticed. Now the guild checks Zeke's blood again and confirms pure blood level 10-8%. The anxious official starts deciding which quests and missions Zeke can take. Zeke still doesn't know what C-class permits, and Alex still hasn't learned the price. The official finally sets the fee at 5 gold, 3 months of pay, and the one foe that finally makes the Demon King flinch. Alex leaves with Zeke and Deus after Zeke receives his C-class rank. Nearby people accuse the guild of trying to cheat Deus despite his kindness. Alex pays the disputed 5 gold processing fee, but the officials test Zeke again. His pure blood level remains 10-8%. The result still alarms them. One official asks whether Zeke is truly a 4th-generation warrior. So the final assessment confirms Zeke as C-class, and the doubtful guild staff fall silent. They still haven't decided decided which quests and missions he can accept. Alex, Zeke, and Deus leave while people outside condemn the guild for trying to cheat Deus. And Zeke walks away publicly recognized as C-Class, while the bystanders keep mocking the guild. A fiery force suddenly erupts ahead of the group. Alex looks toward it and wonders, how do I deal with that? People are already panicking and calling for warriors as Alex takes a quest paper. Up ahead, a masked fighter battles inside the flames. A monster also crashes toward a man holding a spear, and Deus uses Zeke's obedience and sends him straight into the burning village. Nearby, a girl barely dodges a clawed strike. She moves in front of a boy as a fang demon attacks. But can his group reach them in time? A masked fighter keeps battling while attacks rip through the fishing village. His group can't understand the flames because fish people should use water. Villagers keep running as the fire burns through their homes. So a monster corners two villagers who have fallen to the ground. An exhausted boy struggles through the flames nearby. Another clawed attacker approaches a man shielding a woman, leaving his group little time to reach them. Then Alex's group studies the available quest while watching the village burn. Deus agrees that fire makes no sense for fish-like attackers. This isn't a normal monster raid, and none of them knows what waits inside. Fish-like monsters carrying tridents close in as a maid screams. A scarred man tries to protect a child nearby. An exhausted boy collapses among the flames while his group approaches the village. The rescue turns desperate when an attacker critically wounds a man and a powerful spell tears through the village. Alex takes the quest paper for his group while a masked fighter battles in the flames. A monster charges a spear-wielding man, but the spear-wielding man holds his ground when a clawed monster rushes him. The masked attacker keeps setting fires nearby, and the defender shields a woman from the incoming strike. Another fighter judges the monsters as C-Class, but the defenders can't hold them back. A scarred man charges to protect a child. Someone catches the collapsing boy. Another defender gets impaled. Civilians remain trapped throughout the burning town. A spell blasts one fighter through the burning rubble and leaves the man guarding the civilians exposed. Alex's group loses its cheerful mood the moment they reach the coast, so he turns toward the next explosion and prepares to face whoever caused it. So the spear-wielding defender dodges the clawed monster, strikes back, and shatters the ground. Smoke covers the settlement as three visitors react to another blast, while Deus watches nearby. Monsters keep attacking across town, with civilians still trapped among them. Then a wounded fighter collapses into the rescuer's arms. The clawed attacker keeps coming and blasts another fighter through the burning ruins, giving the civilians even less time to escape. Another defender blocks two shark-like monsters from reaching the civilians. He starts protesting they send, but a scream cuts him off. The creatures push farther into the settlement, forcing villagers to run while others fall behind. And several fighters go flying through rooftops and piles of debris when the attackers release another magical blast. The coastal town keeps burning. Its remaining defenders are close to being wiped out. Alex is bloodied, but he stays in the fight. Another defender breaks through an attacker's protection, and Zeke counters with his weapon. They keep resisting while monsters surround the civilians across town, but can they stop the assault? Now a fighter races toward the burning settlement, while Alex rests under a beach umbrella, far from the fighting. Another fighter gets blasted through the ruins, but a warrior guild rescuer raises his shield and promises the civilians he'll save them. The monsters immediately test that promise. Then the rescuers quickly realize the monsters hit harder than expected. One blow launches a shield-bearing fighter backward. A fleeing civilian falls as a masked attacker closes in behind them, while more monsters trap civilians across the burning town. The fighter protecting the civilians takes the opening assault head-on. A horned enemy punches through and leaves another defender coughing up blood, but the wounded fighter digs in, stops sliding, and gets back on his feet. Alex fires back. Alex blasts one attacker away, but another impact catches him and throws him into the air. An explosion erupts above the burning settlement as monsters continue attacking trapped civilians below, and the defender keeps shielding the civilians while winged monsters carry the fire through town. Another fighter crashes into the rubble, but the rescuers reach a boy and return him to the grateful townspeople. Alex stays calm even with a monster approaching from behind. Nearby, a brute knocks another defender down, growls, and marches through the burning ruins, while civilians remain surrounded across town. Another attack erupts. Zeke drives his blade through the enemy line while Alex knocks a horned creature backward. The fighter shielding the civilians remains trapped in the middle of the clash. So the impact sends that fighter screaming through the air, but the defenders don't stop. A follow-up strike cuts into a masked golem's head, and an armored creature immediately charges into the fight. So another blast rips through a burning wall and rains rubble across the street. No adult wizards are nearby. An old woman fears for the children and villagers still trapped there. Who can reach them? A warning makes Alex turn toward a roaring skeletal monster preparing to attack. Nearby, Zeke runs ahead of several pursuers, while another enemy raises a charged fist and drives it toward everyone below. And Alex dodges an upward strike, counters a winged monster's slash, and catches a falling fighter by the leg. But the children and villagers still have no adult wizards protecting them. The bloody chained fighter slams another blow into an enemy. Nearby, Alex braces as a huge monster monster attacks. A woman pulls a boy through the burning streets, but the civilians still haven't escaped. But Zeke and the villagers recoil as the fighting closes in. An old man spots Alex nearby and raises the alarm. There still aren't any adult wizards to protect the children. He quickly counters the attacker behind him, while a survivor orders everyone to run. Then Alex trades close-range blows with the monster and comes away bloodied. Another attack catches him before he recovers and drives him into the ground, breaking the rock beneath him. The bloodied fighter knows one proper shot can finish his opponent. He just needs an opening. The children and villagers remain exposed without any adult wizards. Alex intercepts a horned monster's charge and cuts into it, but an unseen enemy surprises him with a slash. He takes the wound while a masked golem reels from his attack. His counter sends an armored enemy flying, but monsters still tear through the burning coastal town. A huge eye-shaped structure activates amid the destruction. The bloodied fighter still needs one opening to land the shot that can finish his opponent. Then Zeke blocks a diving monster, while Alex intercepts an enemy carrying a trident. Another fighter strikes a horned attacker, keeping the monsters busy. The children and villagers still have no adult wizards protecting them. The coastal town keeps burning. Another creature breaks through a heavy barrier and continues its attack. Alex gathers power in both fists as the enemies close in. The bloodied fighter knows one proper shot will end his fight, but he still can't find an opening. The warning proves true. The children remain exposed without adult wizards. Before Alex can react, a winged monster ambushes him and hurls him through the air. Armored monsters beat a fallen villager, sending the remaining survivors into panic. So the villagers grab hold of one another as the burning town falls apart around them. A fighter carrying a trident meets another explosive attack. Three demons rush Zeke through the flames. The bloodied fighter still waits for the opening he needs to land one finishing shot. Now Alex collides with a masked opponent before the bloodied fighter can land that clean hit. The impact breaks through his denial, but the horned armored enemy still gets blasted through the flames. Another creature prepares to strike while the unprotected children and villagers remain trapped nearby. Another fighter slams an attack into the ground. A young man crawls through the burning village as beasts close in. The civilians are still trapped, but a masked fighter answers, "That is true," and swings a large weapon upward to block the next strike. And Alex blocks a winged enemy, but the impact shatters a weapon and leaves him screaming in pain. Nearby, a masked attacker closes in on two fleeing villagers. The glowing cores inside the monster's armor may be the only way through. The remaining villagers grab makeshift weapons, though the non-stop attack has them losing hope. An explosion tears open a wall, and a horned fighter charges through the gap. He slashes at a fanged creature, but the town is still under attack. And Alex takes the enemy's energy blade head-on as another armored fighter crashes through a wooden wall. A warrior struggles inside a creature's grip while he strikes back at its shield. The defenders still need to break those armored cores. Then another beast charges a family trying to escape the burning coastal town. Fighting erupts before they can get away and blasts a masked defender to the ground. With the defender down, the monsters keep attacking the civilians. Alex locks blades with a winged enemy, but chain skeletal monsters surround him while others reach the villagers. An old villager shields a young woman and gets wounded. A young man charges the creatures, attacking another villager, desperate to stop them. An explosion leaves a smoking crater between the town's broken walls. Beside the golden eye structure, a bloodied Alex forces himself through the pain. Another fighter lands a clean slash on one creature, confirming that the monsters can be wounded. So a blade finally shatters one armored core, exposing the monster's weakness. The defenders seize that opening and wound another creature. Can they destroy the remaining cores before the town falls? Alex tears through an enemy as chains and debris scatter around him. More chain beasts still advance through the burning town. The violence pulls him back to a memory of resting peacefully among flowers, but the fight drives toward another decisive strike. Alex drives his attack through the golden circle and smashes the ground, but the monsters hammer him with repeated blows. The assault drags him back to the massacre he witnessed as a child. He cries among the burning villagers while the survivors run for their lives. So a fast-moving force bursts through the breach as a masked fighter closes on a demon. Before Alex can recover, another enemy slashes him and leaves him wounded on the ground. The monsters keep advancing through the burning coastal town, but Alex strains to hold the defensive emblem while another fighter drives a creature back. The townsfolk stare in fear as the destruction continues. Can the defenders reach the armored cores before the monsters break through? More creatures close in on a startled villager, ripping Alex away from his peaceful memory among the flowers. A masked fighter destroys an enemy's emblem and crushes its wielder. A winged foe breaks through his guard and impales him, leaving him badly wounded. And pinned beneath the huge armored eye structure, Alex calls for help. His buried power starts surging. The villagers fall silent. They keep their makeshift weapons raised because the monsters are still attacking the coastal town. A shark-jawed monster attacks a man, so Alex steps in and hits it directly. The exchange throws an old man backward. He gathers power for a stronger attack, while Zeke fires at another armored enemy's eye core, but neither strike is resolved yet. Then the fighters break through the chain chained creature's defenses and bring it down. The exhausted villagers stand silent among the fallen monsters. Fires still burn across the coastal town. Nobody is safe yet. Then the villagers call for the warrior, and Alex charges back into the fight. Another blade catches him and throws him away. Zeke shields the survivors among the slain monsters, while a desperate boy runs toward the remaining attackers. Can he get back up in time? Alex crashes into the rubble as the remaining monsters keep attacking the coastal town. A huge ice seal activates and releases an explosive force. He still pushes forward, but the armored enemy hits him again and sends him flying. Another attack tears through the town and blasts the chained monster across the wreckage. The creature screams under the impact. Alex turns toward the remaining enemy. He prepares to rejoin the fight. Now Alex recovers in demon form and meets another sword strike head-on. The shark-like monster also regains its footing in the rubble. The defenders are still exposed. He must finish the remaining monsters before they overwhelm everyone. Now Alex faces the active magic seal and unleashes 10-meter repelling slash, throwing the enemy backward. Zeke counters by striking the armored enemy's core, but it keeps fighting. Alex's attack slams into the eye-covered barrier, and he punches straight through its core. The defense breaks. A masked instigator watches the town burn with satisfaction, revealing someone is directing the assault from inside the fighting. So meanwhile, Alex realizes Zeke is much stronger than he expected. He wonders when Zeke learned to fight this well. Before he can investigate, another clawed monster attacks. The defenders hit its core and disrupt its chains while the villagers work together to restrain the huge horned demon. And Alex clashes with the shark-like monster as another attack hurls an old man through the burning town. He responds with 10-meter repelling slash, knocks the creature down, and dodges 2 more blasts. Now the impact exposes Doom's Ragoon in its eye-covered monstrous form. The device helps Alex win the exchange, so he praises how well it works. Nearby, the masked instigator watches the burning town with amusement. The wider attack continues. And now, the remaining monsters attack before Alex can catch his breath. He wounds a large clawed creature. He launches it upward, but another demon closes in behind him. He doesn't have time to turn. Alex smashes the shark-like monster through the air, but more attacks keep coming. A fast strike tears across the burning coastal town and lands near him, forcing he to shield himself from the impact. So the monsters launch an eye-shaped projectile in one final attempt to recover, but Alex and the other fighters hold their ground. They defeat the remaining monsters. The survivors lift he into the air and cheer that they thought they were dead. Then meanwhile, the masked instigator and his group laugh at the town's destruction, confirming their attack isn't finished. Alex lands the decisive final blow on the clawed creature, while the surviving townspeople celebrate escaping death. With the town celebrating, Alex finally relaxes and asks whether that was a good fight. A red-haired fighter races after Deus with an ornate item and urgently calls for him to wait. He needs to stop Deus before he leaves. Golden Dragon prepares to test how effective something really is, so Alex dodges her questions and slips away. Back at Warrior Noodles, the vendor serves his trademark savory noodles. The Golden Dragon is startled by how quickly everyone returns to ordinary life with war approaching. But the fighters survive, he's devastating victory, and return to report what happened. Alex only asks whether the fight was good. The red-haired fighter chases Deus with a note, though he still hasn't explained why he must stop him. Alex settles back into his usual routine at Warrior Noodles, but Golden Dragon interrupts his meal. He asks why she's there. Golden Dragon says she's only checking on her employee, a job title he never applied for. Outside, the survivors recover while Alex listens beside the Golden Dragon. The vendor and wounded fighters celebrate making it through the battle. The red-haired fighter is still rushing after Deus, and nobody knows what he needs from him. So the red-haired man eagerly agrees to help, then asks if Alex is placing the ornate item in his custody. He confirms that Deus is putting him in charge. The item passes to the red-haired man. Everyone resumes eating. Then the Golden Dragon starts asking about Zeke, catching Alex off guard. She formally greets Zeke, saying she's heard so much about him. He tries to continue eating, but broth spills across the table and ruins the quiet meal. By the ocean, Deus recounts the recent battle in town. The enemies fall so easily that he suspects something is wrong. He's right. They rise again, forcing the bloodied fighters to face them once more, while Alex listens nearby. And Alex keeps eating while the bandaged cook celebrates. Then a hatted figure, Deus, steps through a portal right behind him. The bandaged man explains the earlier mishap to the Golden Dragon. The machine was broken and the master was only teasing her. The account reaches the town's desperate clash as a battered fighter attacks an armored enemy beneath an enormous claw. After the battle, a bloodied fighter follows the master's order and rushes off to finish the assigned task. What that task will cause remains unclear. Now the red-haired fighter is still trying to stop the hatted visitor Deus. At the food stall, Deus warns Alex that nobody knows how much these events will affect the 666th Great War. Alex dismisses it, while the Golden Dragon questions how Zeke could possibly have a 10% blood result. Then Zeke receives a proper Doom series sword to match his shield because he's now recognized as a proper warrior. He accepts it gratefully, but power suddenly bursts from the blade. Alex grows alarmed as Zeke senses unfamiliar, powerful darkness inside it. The Doom series sword offers Zeke a pact: accept me and I'll protect you. Zeke feels the unfamiliar darkness inside the weapon and realizes how strong it is. His bandaged companion laughs, trying to calm everyone down. During the forest journey, journey, the young man asks Alex why he keeps trying after every loss. Before he finishes answering, they reach some ruins and find a large broken metal shell. A strange sound draws everyone deeper into the forest, where music is playing from an unknown source. And Golden Dragon demands that Alex return Zeke's sword, but touching it triggers visions of screams, fire, and a world being destroyed. A monstrous presence emerges inside the vision, confirming the weapon's darkness is dangerous. Its purpose remains unknown. The travelers resume their journey while Alex keeps eating and avoids explaining why repeated losses never stop him. A sudden flash startles a young traveler, and strange music drifts through the forest. They find a destroyed campsite with everyone missing, so they follow the music deeper into the trees. With the music still drifting through the forest, Alex destroys the flower-like creature at the wrecked campsite. The Golden Dragon dreads what Zeke's impossible blood result could mean. Alex too admits the darkness inside Zeke's sword feels disturbingly familiar. So the vision doesn't reveal the sword's purpose, so everyone continues traveling by wagon. One passenger speaks to a companion with concern. They soon find a destroyed campsite with no occupants, then follow the unexplained music deeper into the forest. So the Golden Dragon gripes about being dragged into 2 fights a day. Despite bankrolling the trip, Alex catches a strange melody threading through the forest and insists that chasing the danger down could be their shortcut to glory and coin. He studies Zeke's sword, and its familiar darkness triggers another violent vision. A huge spiked weapon rises from lava, leaving Alex alarmed, but the vision still doesn't explain what the darkness will do. The travelers later find a destroyed empty campsite and follow the music deeper into the forest. And the wagon carries Alex and the Golden Dragon through the forest while she remains suspicious of what he knows about the sword. They soon reach a wrecked campsite, but its occupants are gone. Music continues drifting between the trees. Its source remains hidden. Alex listens until the sword's darkness floods him with broken images. He glimpses the Golden Dragon and a monstrous demonic face, proof the blade carries something dangerous. The vision won't say what that danger does. With the campsite wrecked and everyone scattered, the travelers follow the music deeper into the forest. But a sulfurous stench hangs over them as ominous words warn of something beneath the flowing ocean. Whatever lurks there is flooding the world with hatred. Nearby, the bandaged man can barely stay on his feet after swinging a flaming spiked weapon. Then he objects when a young traveler takes his usual seat. The Golden Dragon stays calm while the traveler explains that he simply came along. A sudden jolt cuts them off, and Alex finds another ruined campsite with nobody there. The missing goblins are still nowhere to be found. The travelers follow the music. The music draws Alex through the forest toward the missing goblins. A flower-like creature blocks the ruined campsite, so he destroys it and finds a feather nearby. Before he can work out what it means, a breathless traveler hears a woman singing and searches for her. The song leads to robed men gathered in worship around its source. Nearby, a boy stands before a huge winged creature. The Golden Dragon identifies the monsters closing around the bloodied travelers as harpies. Everyone freezes. Zeke faces the flock while the darkness inside his sword remains unexplained. Then a child calls for everyone to hurry over, but the missing goblins remain unaccounted for. Alex follows the summons and runs straight into a giant winged monster. Another threatening creature waits close by. Now the clearing breaks apart as a winged creature goes flying through the air. Alex confronts the flying monsters while a spiked weapon and pink energy attacks burst around the cowering group. Even during the attack, the darkness inside Zeke's new sword gives him no answers. The survivors keep cowering as the attacks continue. Alex tells the Golden Dragon that Zeke is the one worrying him. When he checks the dead flower-like creature, he finds a feather beside it. The clue connects the music to something nearby, but the missing goblins still haven't appeared. So a traveler follows the singing because the voice is coming from nearby. He reaches a ritual site where another traveler charges toward monstrous faces. A terrified crowd raises its hands before a huge feathered mass. Once Alex learns harpies are involved, he realizes their song may be controlling the victims. The harpies' song drives the men into hysteria. The feathers and music point toward a creature nearby, though its identity remains hidden. Above the forest, a winged creature calls for its master as the flock gathers. Alex attacks before the harpies tighten their control, swinging his spiked demonic weapon and shattering the clearing. A winged creature screams as a giant clock-shaped eye follows the released energy, revealing that something else is watching the fight. And a hooded man channels power into a spiked weapon among the wreckage. One survivor points toward the distant rescuer in disbelief. The Golden Dragon warns that Zeke matters because of his blood heritage, but the danger around him remains unresolved. The mysterious song keeps drifting through the forest. A traveler races toward its source before it controls anyone else. He finds an unidentified white-haired person tied to the melody while another witness remains trapped in a trance. Something nearby is still singing and leaving feathers behind. And Golden Dragon identifies the singers as harpies. She explains that their song draws victims close so they can torment and eat them. The bloodied captives are already under the spell, begging others to join as a winged harpy urges them forward. Alex moves to stop the creatures before they take anyone else. Then Alex attacks and damages one harpy's skeletal form, but another creature catches him between its jaws and bites down. He takes the wound as a burst of power slams into a winged harpy and makes it scream. The rest of the flock keeps fighting. Pink energy pours from the device and erupts around Alex as he holds on, shocking a hooded survivor. Once freed, the captives celebrate him as a brave warrior. The golden dragon notices that he is hurting and asks him not to look at her that way. Music is still coming from deeper inside the forest. Alex follows the melody between the trees and finds an unidentified white-haired singer who appears to be producing it. So the singer's spell keeps one captive under control while a pale harpy closes in. A nearby voice warns Alex that few victims escape without help. He calls Golden Dragon over because rescuing this captive means facing the creature directly. Alex blasts the skeletal threat with powerful energy and charges straight at the winged creature. The surrounding harpies go silent, but their monstrous leader opens its huge jaws and answers his attack. The flock and its spell are still active. His strike destroys the harpy's wing, and the overloaded energy explodes across the forest. He immediately sends another attack into the sky, but the harpy's control may still be holding, so feathers and remains cover the forest path after the blast. But the strange melody continues. Alex follows the music deeper into the trees while a broken warning tells him to stay careful. But several identical winged creatures are waiting among the trees. Before Alex can stop their song, a red energy blade hits him and sends him flying with a wound. The monstrous force unleashes Doom's ruin through the distorted melody, and a huge explosion rips across the forest. The screams fade, but Alex and the creatures controlling the victims disappear inside the blast. And after the explosion, Zeke finds the pink-eyed mechanism controlling the victims. He crushes it while the villagers watch. Later, the travelers continue beneath the night sky, and the golden dragon admits she never understood the previous Demon King's actions. She asks Alex, "Was the 665th like you?" But he doesn't answer yet. Then Alex remembers a woman promising a girl that she won't become the Demon King or die. The golden dragon notices a scarf connected to that memory, but what became of the promise remains unclear. Then the memory shifts to the Demon King's weapon shop. Alex greets a hooded visitor. Alex closes the curtains around a bed, but the recollection ends before revealing why the visitor came. The travelers can only suspect the 665th had a larger plan. The golden dragon keeps watching Alex, waiting for him to explain why the previous Demon King walked away from the role. Alex stays silent as his memory drifts back to the golden dragon standing amid the war, the fury swirling around her. Alex remembers the 665th Demon King declaring say goodbye to this pointless war. The time of long-awaited peace is finally here. The golden dragon stays wary, and the unfinished memory gives no answer about the plan behind those words. Now the crying girl accepts the vow, promising she won't become Demon King or die. An urgent departure follows. Alex quietly watches the moon during the journey, still refusing to explain whether the 665th was anything like him. Alex returns to the mansion and finally gets some rest while the hooded observer keeps watch. His memory still doesn't reveal why the 665th Demon King walked away, so the travelers can only assume he had some larger plan. A hooded observer notices his companion has vanished and starts doubting whether the dragon was even real. As a bowing servant promises to lay out vestments blacker than night for his liege, the red-cloaked figure wonders aloud whether the 665th Demon King looked anything like Alex and why he walked away from his subjects without a word. So the golden dragon admits she's technically his enemy, but their similar burdens help her understand the 665th Demon King's position. Alex tries to remember more, yet the memory breaks apart before revealing why his predecessor left. The travelers still believe he must have planned something important. And as the group travels through the mountains, Alex suddenly appears behind a girl and leaves her speechless. A robed traveler immediately asks where the golden dragon went, but he can't answer. Her disappearance leaves them wondering whether the dragon they're chasing is even real. Alex returns to the ornate room. Alex finds the bed empty. A late visitor steps through a portal and starts bringing up dragons and the golden dragon, but he loses patience. His demonic features emerge as he angrily orders the visitor to return tomorrow. And with the golden dragon still missing, Alex questions the entire search. He asks how anyone knows the golden dragon they're seeking is real, raising the possibility of an imposter. The visitor accuses him of leaving after promising an explanation, and he dismisses it with, "Oh yeah?" The golden dragon accepts that Alex carries burdens of his own, which pulls her into a broken memory of an earlier talk beneath the night sky. She starts preparing a doubtful response, but an angry child interrupts her. Nothing about her is settled, so Alex thinks he may remember this journey fondly someday, even with the golden dragon still missing. A boy celebrates completing his quest, and his companion accepts him as her minion. He relaxes beneath the night sky before heading back to bed. Then Alex barely gets any rest before a visitor enters through a portal. He tells the visitor, "Come tomorrow. Someone forced one of the 7 demon lords to take his own life, and whoever did it remains unknown." The golden dragon nearly breaks under the weight of what happened with Zeke and demands answers, but Alex waves the whole thing off as nonsense and thanks her for understanding anyway. Her true identity is still uncertain, and Alex settles none of it. The golden dragon confronts Alex over the misery handed down by his predecessor. predecessors, and asks whether their fragile peace is only mutual tolerance. She admits she doesn't know how long it can hold, while her earlier disappearance keeps his vanished visitor under suspicion. But with the golden dragon still missing, Alex can't confirm whether the dragon they seek is really her. Beneath the moon, he remembers a woman giving him a red scarf and telling him to wear it. He continues traveling through the night. The visitor ignores his warning and keeps coming closer. His demonic nature surfaces as his patience finally breaks, and he repeats, "I said tomorrow." Their broken references to dragons, the golden dragon, and the dragon king offer no answer about her disappearance. Alex isn't there to control the gathered demon lords, and none of them can be trusted. Darosh is dead. They need to decide whether his funeral will be prepared. So Darosh's funeral preparations are already underway. Elsewhere, an attack erupts as a fire-controlling demon lord appears. An enraged opponent rejects an insult, and the other demon lords haven't revealed what they'll do next. Then a masked instigator goads the beast-like factions into slaughtering each other. While Alex is away, a fire-wreathed creature leaves its opponent bloodied. Nearby, the bandaged man asks whether the funeral preparations have begun. Alex follows his father's old advice. When you're not sure, just ask. He tells an assistant to mind the weapon shop while he handles the funeral. Once he lays out his plan, the bandaged man panics and demands an explanation. And Darosh's funeral still isn't settled when a streak races toward 3 conspirators waiting beyond the ruined stronghold. Alex remains absent, leaving the gathered demon lords free to choose their next move. An explosive attack engulfs a chained captive, but the scarred observer stays calm. One scarred speaker mocks another person's disappointment with the power displayed. The shroud asks what the furious opponent truly is, pushing them toward another clash. Now Darosh's funeral draws closer, but the preparations still aren't confirmed. The Duke of Envy joins the gathered demon lords as someone comforts an injured man. A woman remembers Darosh as a strange man who constantly experimented with herbs and mushrooms. Then Alex says grieving won't bring Darosh back and tells his startled employee to guard the weapon shop while he's away at the funeral. The employee obeys, but the bandaged man panics as a streak of light shoots toward the mountains. The demon lords still haven't shown their next move. Meanwhile, the demon lords stay gathered inside the ruined city while Alex is gone. It's still unclear whether they're arranging Darosh's funeral. Before they decide anything, a destructive blast tears toward the stronghold. Flames swallow the area and leave a chain stone block behind. So the demon lords turn hostile when an intruder walks past without acknowledging them. Several complain that he doesn't even greet them, while another starts laughing. A monstrous man finally erupts in fury, bringing the gathering close to a fight. And Alex leaves their response hanging as he carries the injured Zeke into a quiet hut. Zeke tries to get up, but Alex orders him to stay in bed. Zeke reluctantly lies back down and obeys. Meanwhile, a broken memory returns to the dead demon lord and the unfinished preparations. A bitter voice insists Daruk wasn't easy to kill. Back at the hut, Alex adds, "and just in case," which leaves Zeke confused as he prepares to leave. A powerful entity suddenly attacks at extreme speed and tears through the city. Whole burning sections are left suspended as the blast keeps expanding. At the center of it, a masked fighter calmly withstands the destruction. So Zeke lies unconscious beside a chainstone block among the flames. Elsewhere, a scarred man attacks someone for disrespecting him, and 2 twin demon douches of lust appear. A winged figure declares that some people must serve as weapons and die tragically. The chained block remains in the embers. So the monstrous man gives the masked man one final warning at the gathering. The masked man ignores him and keeps eating. Back at the hut, Zeke sleeps uneasily, but when he's told to remain in bed, he quietly agrees and settles down again. Now Alex admits that family bonds matter to him, which means he has to protect Zeke himself. His demonic nature starts surfacing beneath the moonlight. He calmly leaves the hut. He heads straight toward the approaching confrontation. And so Alex races into a volcanic realm while more of his demonic power surfaces. A warning declares that darkness will bring complete destruction and death to its target. The confrontation he expects is already underway. The mountains break apart while the demon lords count their remaining strength. 7 drops to 6, then 5 because Alex isn't there. Another fighter prepares to strike, leaving the 5 demon lords to respond alone. But the demon lords still haven't revealed their plan. A bespectacled observer watches silently while the masked man keeps eating his soup. At the hut, Zeke's caregiver checks his troubled sleep and urgently calls for Master Deus. Zeke's condition is getting worse. Then the golden dragon arrives as Alex's demonic power surfaces on the eve of his mission. He half expects he might not come back, so he leaves the shop to Zeke. Elsewhere, an unseen attack blasts the bandaged man clean out of a building. The 5 demon lords still haven't chosen how to respond without Alex. His rising power signals that his own confrontation is close. A winged figure declares that some people must become weapons and die alone. Nearby, a chain stone block remains surrounded by embers. Now Alex launches a destructive strike at the gates of the dragon's realm, a sacred dimension beyond Earth. Its winged defenders scramble to stop him, but he's already forcing his way inside their guarded land. Then the dragons swarm around an ancient temple set among crystal-covered spires. Alex strides into their guarded land and a powerful winged defender blocks his path. He says flatly, "The adults need to have a chat." The meeting turns violent at once. A sudden burst of power catches Alex off guard and engulfs the winged defender. Alex answers with his own released power and braces to keep fighting. Alex dismisses the dragon defender as but souls and snaps his fingers. The blast wrecks the land below, gouging shattered ruins into a crater. Nothing here has slowed his advance deeper into the dragon realm. So the dragons warn Alex he'll never leave their realm alive. They rush him together, but their attack can't hold him. Alex shatters the attacking winged creature and stands wreathed in his released demonic power. The dragon god's guardians still have no answer for him. Now his assault reaches the gateway, sealing off the inner realm. The golden dragon reminds him that the world's rules bind them both. Alex ignores the warning and smashes through the restraint blocking his path. Meanwhile, the golden dragon wonders aloud whether living by those rules would make their endless lives easier to bear. The dragon guardians fall silent as Alex enters the inner courtyard. And there's a catch. Facing the dragon god herself will strip away his disguise. And a dragon senses Alex breaching the sacred realm and alerts the horde. Alex unleashes enough power to snap his own restraint, letting his demonic nature show. Who can stop him now? Fully transformed, Alex unleashes a devastating attack at the oncoming threat. The blast shatters the huge winged attacker in midair, yet the closer he gets, the surer it is. The dragon god will see through his mask. And the dragon defenders finally grasp that Alex is no ordinary intruder. They rally and clash with him in midair, trying to seal off the dragon god's shrine. But the transformed Alex answers with an explosive demonic strike. Then the golden dragon recalls that no demon king has abdicated in 665 centuries. Alex is the first, and he still won't explain why he quit. And she knows, if he reaches her in person, his disguise ends. The dragon guardians brace to intercept the red-eyed intruder before he reaches the inner shrine. One watches with sinister amusement. A masked archer takes aim, and the dragon god waits, masked before her sacred altar. Alex searches the ruined dragon realm for his hidden quarry, but she slipped away. It was right here. That lizard brain was smarter than I thought. The dragon's attack, forcing his concealed demonic power loose, and reaching the dragon god could still cost him his cover. So Alex blinds two attacking dragons and cuts off a third's counterattack. He dismisses the skeletal one as but bone, then destroys it. Who's left to keep him from the dragon god's shrine? The broken enemy falls apart. Another dragon lunges at Alex for killing its comrades. Alex answers by pouring out more power. His path stays open, but facing the dragon god in the flesh will undo his disguise. His attack lands hard, and the golden dragon is anguished by what follows. Still, the warning hangs over him. His disguise won't survive meeting her face to face, yet Alex presses on toward her shrine. So Alex races through the wreckage and reaches the shrine at last. The same warning trails him. The moment he stands before the dragon god, his disguise will fail. But Alex smashes through the last defenses and confirms his quarry is hiding here. Can the dragons kill him first? This realm lies outside Earth entirely, so Alex stops hiding his identity or his power. Alex reveals himself as the Demon King, and a dragon orders him out before loosing its breath. He lifts one claw against the blast and calls the dragon but flesh. Still more dragons block his path to the dragon god. And one dragon lies bloodied from his last attack, but the others don't retreat. They close in, calling for his death while ordering each other to defend their realm and repay him in blood. Their combined attack tears the ground apart, but Alex survives and rises in his full Demon King form. Then the golden dragon herself appears among the casualties and vows no more innocence. The dragon god steps forward to face the invader at last. Then the golden dragon snaps at a masked man beside her. The thing on his neck is hideous, cover it. The masked man just lowers his head in silence. Meanwhile, a streak of light cuts the sky. Alex is already moving. Can anyone stop him before he reaches his target? Then moments earlier, Alex enters an ancient ruin inside the dragon realm and blasts through its defenses. A two-headed dragon immediately senses him and roars. Who dares? The dragons know an intruder has arrived, while fighting continues across their realms. So his previous blow rolls across the battlefield as his demonic power grows. A winged defender charges straight at him, and another dragon fires its breath into his power. Can either attack slow him down? Alex tells the attacker, "You are nothing," and wipes it out. More of the realm's strongest defenders gather around him. He remains airborne as a huge fanged beast approaches, and another large winged dragon descends. Now Alex chases the fleeing winged creature through the shattered sky and hammers it with rapid blows. He calmly says, "See," as his final attack crashes down beneath him. Now the remaining dragons panic when Alex keeps advancing, but they rally to defend their realm. A huge fanged dragon confronts him in the air, while another winged dragon descends. A horned serpent and more defenders gather between the isolated cliffs. Alex releases his demonic power, smashes through the stone defenses, and continues toward his target. So Alex flies through the broken barrier without slowing down. Another huge fanged beast blocks his path as the large winged dragon closes in, and Alex meets the dragon clans in midair, pushing through their slashing attacks. They accuse him of being a demon, but he refuses to stop advancing. A huge horned beast and a three-headed defender join the attack. Bloodied, Alex reveals his demonic form and answers with an explosive strike that alarms them all. And the golden dragon arrives and orders Alex Alex to stop causing trouble. With their god above them, the dragon clans rally and command each other to defend the realm. The defenders call Alex a dirt stepper for invading their realm and cry out for help. He shouts sacrilege as the dragons prepare to repel him under the golden dragon's protection. So the dragon clans keep fighting, but his power cracks the kingdom's defenses. A terrified child cries, "Mommy," as the destruction reaches them. Then a giant beast charges Alex and he gathers demonic power to meet it. The creature closes the distance before either side can finish the clash. Alex builds up more power as the wrong shape roars at him. The defenders finally lose their nerve. The defenders order everyone to retreat. The terrified dragons recognize Alex as the devil and flee. Their defense is finished. A huge stone beast starts charging an energy blast and he calmly prepares to answer it. But the dragon clans rally around their kingdom's pride for one final attack. They combine their power because they still believe they can drive Alex out. But an immense dragon-like force joins the winged defenders. Alex responds with a distorted declaration instead of backing down. The dragons call him the devil and retreat as the larger power draws near, leaving their kingdom's survival uncertain. The defenders condemn Alex as the demon lord who broke through the Blue Jade Kingdom's defenses. Their warning changes nothing. He releases enough demonic power to wreck the area, then faces the giant beast, leading their resistance. So the winged dragons charge Alex and order him to stop defiling their realm. He takes his demon form, slashes with his extended claws, then closes his bloodied fist around part of his target. The remaining defenders finally understand how far beneath him they are as the larger force advances. Then Alex prepares to strike the colossal multi-headed monster, but the gathered dragons finally recognize him as the devil. Their courage breaks. The clans retreat rather than keep fighting. A powerful blast announces another arrival as an unidentified robed presence descends. A young dragon cries out, "Mommy!" Their mother goddess has come. Whoever she is, she has enough power to confront Alex, and a large dragon roars as she closes in. And the approaching presence remains unidentified while the wings of the Blue Jade Kingdom move to defend their realm. Dragons break through the crystal defenses and swarm Alex, determined to stop him from advancing. The defenders release their power at Alex as a towering force confronts him. They warn that breaking through the kingdom's defenses doesn't give him the right to roam their realm. Whether they can stop him before the approaching presence arrives is another matter. Now the dragons attack Alex with everything they have, and the kingdom's guardian statue reacts to his demonic power. Their mother goddess keeps drawing closer while the defenders try to hold him back. He splits a giant beast's skull as the winged forces fire a concentrated attack. Now Alex drops his human disguise and attacks in his winged demon form. He breaks through the defenders, he cuts open another giant creature. Two dragons try trapping him with their combined power, but he tears through it and chases the next attacker towards something even larger. Alex cuts down another dragon and lashes through the remaining defenders. Their protector still hasn't arrived. The dragons rush to repel him before their mother goddess reaches the battle. The noble dragon elders rally every defender still standing. Dragons fly between the Blue Jade Kingdom's crystal spires and combine their power. Alex keeps advancing. The entire realm joins the assault, and an enormous icy dragon joins the Blue Jade Kingdom's defense. Another wounded beast collapses before Alex, but he still looks confident. The noble dragon elders hold the line as their mother goddess draws closer. Alex charges through the next assault in his winged demon form and kills another giant beast. A new creature immediately takes its place. The remaining defenders fire concentrated beams, trying to repel him before the unknown presence arrives. As their mother goddess approaches, the Blue Jade Kingdom sends out its ancient guardian and multi-headed dragons. They surround Alex, demand to know why he invaded, and threaten to crush him. Then Alex refuses to retreat and the dragons launch another direct attack. He meets the defending beast in his demon form and drives straight into it. The dragons keep fighting while they wait for their protector. So the dragon's protector finally arrives. She is the golden dragon, the god and mother of every dragon here, the mommy they cried out for. The defenders announce her arrival with awe. The golden dragon blames he for chasing the infection into her realm and hurting her children. Her grief turns into fury. She fires a huge blast at him. Whether she can drive Alex out and protect the Blue Jade Kingdom remains unclear. So their fight carries into cosmic space, where the golden dragon admits she dropped her guard. Alex doesn't let her recover. He closes the distance. He strikes her at close range. Alex drives a huge surge of demonic power across the battlefield. It tears through the golden dragon's defense, but she gathers enough power to answer. She still has to stop him from tormenting her children, but their powers collide again in cosmic space, and Alex pours more destructive force into the clash. The golden dragon holds her ground. The golden dragon admits that he is truly strong, and Alex is wounded, but he admits the golden dragon earned her title as the god of dragons. He refuses to yield when the realm's beasts rally behind her. Millions of supersonic blades fill the battlefield as she prepares her response. The golden dragon orders Alex to stop tormenting her children. She demands to know how he could betray her, while the dragon defenders call for his death. The golden dragon warns Alex that he's gone too far. His attack pierces her protective veil and forces her to dodge its path. Millions of supersonic blades keep coming as she prepares to answer. Then Alex pushes his demon power even higher. His distorted words can't be understood, and the violent energy around around him surges toward another collision. Alex and the Golden Dragon slam together again. Their attacks drive her upward through the braking force. She releases another violent burst. She starts forming her counterattack while millions of supersonic blades fill the battlefield. Alex divides his demonic power into millions of tiny supersonic blades of darkness. A single touch can shatter a soul, so the Golden Dragon has to evade the entire barrage. Then Alex assumes the Golden Dragon thinks she's winning, so he gathers himself for an even greater attack. She descends through the violent collision and battle armor, while his millions of supersonic blades fill the battlefield. Now the fight shifts as a multi-headed threat emerges. The Golden Dragon gathers her power. The Golden Dragon prepares to stop his attack before it reaches her. Alex stays confident, but the Golden Dragon decides to counter him. A moment later, he hangs suspended in an unfamiliar cosmic space and asks, "Where are we?" So now, the Golden Dragon faces Alex inside that cosmic void. She tells him, "I thought we were becoming friends," but he refuses to stop fighting. Their powers collide again, and he's slashing force tears through her defense. He releases enough power to rip across the battlefield, but the Golden Dragon takes battle form and meets him with a sword. And Alex still doesn't know where the Golden Dragon has taken him. He roars and releases a violent surge, forcing his demonic strength into the open. And his attack rips across the realm and draws out a monstrous beast. The Golden Dragon intervenes before more is destroyed, confronts him directly, and orders, "Nuisance, stop it." Alex answers her order with open hostility. Still fully transformed, he uses his demonic power to destroy the winged creatures surrounding him. The Golden Dragon watches in shock, then admits, "After all my time on this earth, I guess I'm still naive." Her trust in Alex is broken, and she can only stare as he tears free from the Golden Prison. So the Golden Dragon surges back into the clash with a blade at her throat. She tries to protect her children, but he's slashing countercuts through her power. Free of the prison, Alex unleashes a huge storm of dark energy. The attack wounds an arm and shakes the entire Golden Jade realm, while the Golden Dragon still can't stop him from tormenting her children. Before Alex can learn where the Golden Dragon has taken him, her counterattack breaks through his barrage and strikes him directly. He retaliates by transforming and unleashing Mind Crusher. Then the collision blasts across the battlefield, but Alex survives and gets back up as the Golden Dragon returns. He breaks out of the Golden Prison, leaving her stunned in the distance. The Golden Dragon can only look on during the fight as Alex destroys the attacking multi-headed beast. His demonic power has grown far beyond what she expected. She watches him with alarm. An unknown power suddenly shifts the battlefield before Alex can attack again. The Golden Dragon admits she failed her children because she still can't stop him from tormenting them. He fully embraces his Demon King form and breaks free of the Golden Prison while she watches. So his demonic power tears through the Golden Jade realm, and the Golden Dragon is still missing. Can she return before he reaches her children? Alex doesn't wait for an answer and smashes straight through the Golden Barrier. The wounded Golden Dragon returns and clenches her fist, but Alex has already taken away her advantage. He tears himself free of the Golden Prison, and she can only watch from afar. Then the clash erupts in a blinding burst, and Alex can't believe the Golden Dragon has pushed him this far. Her resistance leaves him with a choice: end the war or keep fighting. And Mind Crusher overwhelms the battlefield and leaves a giant dragon writhing among the ruins. The Golden Dragon restrains Alex with her power, but he stays ready to fight. She survives the attack. She prepares to face him again. The battle tears through the ruined temple as monsters curse Alex and another attacker strikes him. Every new attack convinces him that this war is pointless. He has to decide whether he'll keep fighting for Demonkind or walk away. Alex makes his choice and declares, "Let's go back to Zorix." He turns away from the conflict, but a subordinate demon protests that the war represents Demonkind's deepest desires. He stays calm and says he's leaving regardless of the consequences. War or no war, the shop won't run itself. Now his decision follows him into a private confrontation with the Golden Dragon inside a mountain room. He restrains her as they struggle, but the threat that forced them into this clash remains unclear. Turns out the Golden Dragon is judging an earlier attempt on her life. She says, "If they meant to kill me, they'll try again." She chooses to wait and watch instead of striking too soon. Alex admits the growing conspiracy is making his head spin. Alex already believes the war is pointless, but he still has a choice. He can keep fighting or finally walk away. As the battle continues, he tears through a chained beast. He refuses to let the violence choose his future. Then Alex ends the clash and decides he won't live for this war. As he puts it, he'll head home and simply be himself, ideally with better margins. He turns his back on the throne again, but why he first walked away from it, he still won't say. And his subordinate begs him to reconsider. Underground life has grown around Demonkind's ancient desires. Another subordinate asks who will succeed Darosh. Alex ignores their protests, turns away, and leaves that decision to them. Later, Alex meets the Golden Dragon in private. Using his true power here could expose his identity. She immediately warns him, "Don't use your powers here." That warning puts his quiet return to Zorix at risk. So the Golden Dragon accuses Alex of knowing about the infection from the start. She still doesn't know who caused it, so so she holds back. She decides to wait for the enemy's next move. He must decide whether he'll keep avoiding the fight. Alex doesn't want any part of this, but the golden dragon can't manage alone. He steps in, a jeweled restraint catches him in the air. Forced into the confrontation, he reveals his demonic wings and prepares to fight. So the dragon swears its kind will never forget his attack. Alex strikes it down anyway. His calm finally breaks into rage when he realizes the dragons now consider demonkind their enemy, and his subordinate warns that angering the dragons will make the war in 20 years far harder. Alex ignores those future consequences. He only asks one immediate question: how do we make money now? Alex tries to leave the fighting behind, but the golden dragon stops him. She warns that using demonic power will alert every warrior and enforcer worldwide. To keep his identity hidden, he restrains himself. The golden dragon accuses Alex directly. The infection was Darosh's work, and Alex, the demon king, was pulling the strings behind it. It was aimed at her children, at dragonkind itself, so she demands the answer that matters: who gains from a war between the races? But Alex insists the others can't stop the crisis without him. Nearby, one dragon-like creature attacks another and bites straight through its counterattack. Their fight ends with a huge roar. A cloaked subordinate sees his intervention as loyalty and admits, "I feared you had turned your back on demonkind." Dea says Alex is abandoning demonkind during the Dragon War. Alex refuses responsibility for its distant future and waves it off. Have the 666th or 6666th figure it out. He dismisses the warning and walks away, back toward his shop and his quiet life. Then Alex forces his way out with demonic power and ends the argument. On his way back to town, the golden dragon intercepts him. Has she already seen through his deception? Then the golden dragon drops the act. "You're quite the actor," she says, mocking him for fooling her children. She saw through the fake arm, and she knows he's the demon king. Thrown to the floor, Alex answers with what he believed. "I thought you were using the infection to drive a wedge between humans and dragons." She wants the truth behind the plague. Yes, that and everything else. Now the golden dragon takes his unspoken offer and says the two of them are in the same boat. Even so, Alex still stands dwarfed before a colossal dark force, blood on his mouth, braced for whatever comes next. So the dragons mass to avenge their own, and who is really pulling the strings behind the infection stays unknown. Reaching the aftermath, Alex gives them only the coldest answer: "All I did was avenge his death. That's it." A demon's cry that their family earns no warmth. Alex smirks that nothing comes free, every offer has its price, and he owes demonkind nothing. The cold words settle nothing between them. The real reckoning is still bearing down. Now Alex is back at Demon King's weapons, trying to live as a quiet shopkeeper, a life the whole world refuses to let him keep. Even here, the golden dragon comes for him, her eye drawn straight to the fake arm, hiding what he really is. And Alex calmly admits he knew the golden dragon would catch it. The deception was deliberate. She accuses him of chasing revenge and killing without mercy. Alex agrees. Help always carries a price. Then the golden dragon starts to lay out the real stakes. 3 races rule the world, and now the head of one race has killed